All right. I decided to spring this stream on everybody. Oh, camera. Camera behave. I guess I have a few minutes before everybody gets here to make sure that I have my stuff together as far as tech, which I never do. But the good thing is, if you're watching this back, hi. Whoa, see that camera? Jeez. Stop. It's Valentine's Day. I had nothing better to do. So I am here even though I didn't plan to be and didn't announce it, and therefore there is nobody in stream with me. Hi, Jay. Jay and Patrick are in stream with me. Never mind. FBI gotta go. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Be single mockery day. Well, that was part of the reason. Oh my god, camera. Stop. I gotta do something about this camera. Hang on, guys. We might go to... Darth Sidious is here. You guys are so awesome. I didn't even tell anybody about this, and everybody's just like, yeah, we'll chill with you guys. Hey. Hi, everybody just joining chat. I genuinely was not sure. You sent this one to me, right, Patrick? This one. Kissing contest. I am concerned, but also, like, my morbid curiosity is like, what the hell? And it's very short, so I figured I'd pair it with a Babysitter's Club. Kristy's Mystery Admirer, which Patrick also sent me. I gotta do something about this camera. I'm sorry, guys. Hang on. So yes, this stream is sponsored by Patrick. Hi, Patrick. Patrick sent both of the books we're going to be reading tonight, so we appreciate Patrick. Tonight's going to be a quieter stream. Hopefully most of the people who are with us in stream have more important things to do. I should probably get this out of here. This is an empty can from yesterday. Have more important things to do today on Valentine's Day than be in stream. But for those of us, hi Katie. Yes, say everybody appreciate Patrick. For those of us who, I didn't have anything else to do tonight and I got my video done. Oh my god, I gotta switch my camera. Hang on, I'm working on it. I figured it might be a good night to just kind of do some topical, kind of girly books and just chill out for, oh my god, this desk. I gotta do something with this desk before we do anything. It's driving me a little bit insane. Okay. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. Probably should have, let people know. I'm sure people are going to see this VOD in the morning and be like, why are you like this? Why can't you just tell us when stuff is gonna happen? And to that I say I'm sorry. My ADHD causes me to this is gonna be terrible. Oh, this is the camera. Well, now it's not giving me any camera. My ADHD causes me to just do things on a whim, so sorry about that. My eyes, it's blinding me. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix it. Hang on. Deactivate. Integrated camera. Activate. Give me my shitty... Where's my shitty... Okay. Hang on. I know how to fix it. Yeah. Hi, Laser. It's probably not Valentine's Day anymore where you are. Facepaint gig went well trying to learn a song on guitar. Hey, Chris. Congratulations. Welcome. We're just doing a chill reading stream. Because I don't have a Valentine. So I figured those of us in our community who don't might like to just chill out and read a fun little book with us. Whoops. Camera. And so while we are getting everything going, which is to say, while I fist fight the tech ghosts in the background of this very chill atmosphere that I'm trying to set up, how's everybody doing? Where's Avery's brother when you need him? She just got it set up. Hey, Texas! Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Hey, Derp Rex. Hi, guys. You guys are great for being here. I'm sorry I sprung another thing on you. If I do this, we're getting rid of the camera because the camera has been banished. Whoa. See how much worse that looks, though? But at least it won't be giving everybody a migraine, so we're gonna have to live with it. This is what happens when we have impromptu streams. Stuff is more broken than normal. Oh, hey, Gabe, if you ever see this, you left these airheads at my house the last time we did a Monoland stream. I'm putting them right here to keep them safe for you until you come back. Did you drop what? Recovering from my surgery. Oh, I'm sorry, Derprex. That always sucks. I'm glad you are home and recovering, though. Jay, did you drop your... I'm sorry, did I drop my what? Maybe my brain is reading that wrong. I'm not going to talk too much because I'm making you a surprise plushie. Oh, thank you, Katie. That is so sweet of you. You are amazing. I love you guys. I was actually talking earlier today with Maddie, and we're going to get a little Discord server set up. So, yay. Discord servers for those of us that like to chit-chat. I'm going to go throw this away. I will be right back. Jeez. Let's take the computer out while I'm around. I love my cats, but one of them, I know it's not Perry, but one of them keeps peeing right here in this recording room, and it's driving me insane. It is easily the most inconvenient play. You drop your camera some point. No, I didn't. The camera, nothing is wrong. It's not the camera, it's the... I'm gonna put my hair up while I'm here. It's not the camera, it's the, we think it's the hub that's processing the camera information into the computer, because sometimes you'll notice it's this camera doing it, and sometimes it's that camera, and I think it's just because my computer decides, hey, I don't feel like dealing with this many things at once. Yay, Discord. I am not a, frequent... I've been using Discord a little bit more since using YouTube, because it's obviously it helps when I'm collaborating with our friends who are not local to me. But I'm not really involved in that many Discord servers, so I'm gonna hope that I'm not a boomer when it comes to running one. Hey, Kovsky. Don't let the camera off the hook. That camera. Let me adjust the lights, because the lights that are set up for the high-powered camera are also not helping. But I know that nobody else cares as much as I do, but you can see me, you can see this. We're together, that's the important thing. Ah! That, like, stand-in technical filmmaker brain is kicking in, and I'm just like, but the lights! This isn't good contrast. Jacob's Ladder. The single mockery that you call a day is finally bloody over in the UK. Well, happy not Valentine's Day anymore. I'm also not a huge fan of Valentine's Day. I don't have any problem with... I know some people really like it. In true Demi fashion, I've never had a Valentine, so I just... It ranges from not that important of a day to me to violently depressing depending on, surrounding life, but... I forgot it was Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, Adriel. I'm glad that we can all hang together. I didn't know if anybody was going to be around. I kind of was like, they probably all have other things to do. It's a holiday. But, there's 13 of us. Lucky number 13 in chat. Thank you. Whoop, I'm hiccuping. Thank you, guys. I have some... This is the most of my celebration. I have some somewhat topical... Valentine-y Apple books from the 90s. We have a Babysitter's Club, Kristy's Mystery Admirer, which looks fun and topical for Valentine's Day. Need a babysitter? Save time. Call the Babysitter's Club. And we also have the Kissing Contest by Dion Curtis Reagan, which is an author that I have never, ever heard of before. This is just a random Apple paperback. That Patrick sent both of these, so we're just gonna have some good old-fashioned Apple paperbacks fun. And I have some candy. And a Coke and water because I'm trying to be better about hydration. I went to Dollar Tree for tempered candles the other day, and I couldn't find them until I eventually saw that they were in seasoned holiday section. But we use taper candles all year round. I do that too. I'm not picky about my candles at all, so I get them from the dollar store. Only saw purple and pink. I had to go digging for a while. I want some black ones. I love black. We've been married for 17 years. We have 3 kids. Valentine's Day plans. Oh. It's a mockery to single people. This is 2023, not 1980, you schmuck. I have no opinions on Valentine's Day. It's just a thing that exists. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel this year. I don't feel super salty or anything. I just mostly feel like, I kind of forgot it was Valentine's Day until like lunchtime today. Valentine's Day is overrated. Yeah. I personally just think, you know, you can just do stuff with your loved ones to let them know that you love them all the time. Motto, if there's a famous person I haven't heard of, they aren't famous. Oh, it's funny. Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day are the ones that don't matter. Coming from a very strong Irish family, I can attest to the fact that St. Patrick's Day is not a very important holiday. Because St. Patrick also was kind of a terrible person. Hi, misfiring. Happy, well, it's probably not Valentine's Day for you anymore, but hello, chat. Thank you for being here for this very impromptu stream. Heads up, I am literally uploading, it's processing right now, a new video. It is a Phantom Investigators video with Daniel, so I'm going to try to see if I can set that up to like dump you guys into it when we finish this stream. I know we'll be streaming for a little while, but there is a way that you can like direct people from your stream into a scheduled like premiere, I think is how it works. I've never done it before, but all of my YouTuber friends are like, you have to do it because it helps a lot. Something, people like them, easier to find videos. I don't know. But anyway, we're just chilling today. Patrick was a terrible person. Green is a great color. Green is a great color, but there's so much of it on St. Patrick's Day. And everybody tries to do a terrible St. Patrick or Irish accent for St. Patrick's Day. And it's just, I don't know. It's fine. It's just there. I feel like spring is not very, at least the, speaking for the holidays that I was raised celebrating, they're kind of mid-holidays in spring. I'll just put my hairbrush on the floor for now. Now I don't have to look at it. Red and black is a great color scheme. Why did I immediately think of Harley Quinn? Hey, Natty! Happy Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. Sorry, I gotta be careful not to lean in because we're on the this camera tonight. 2 drops of Irish blood, making it his whole personality for a day. I mean, it's not like, don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm like, how dare you appropriate the Irish. That's not what I'm saying. It's just funny because St. Patrick's Day is primarily just, it's to celebrate the, you know, Catholic, word I'm looking for, missionary, there you go, who was kind of totally a colonizer, but Americans are just like, hey, it's Irish Day, and it's just like, okay, that's fine. You can dye the water green. I'm sure that doesn't hurt anything. Like all the good holidays in your fall. Yeah, as soon as we hit October, holiday season is oops all bangers. We've got Halloween. If you're if you're in Canada, you've got Thanksgiving, then Halloween, then Christmas. But we have in America October, November, December, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas all lined up. New Year's is kind of meh, but it's a nice like finale, I guess. Yes, in Ireland pubs are closed because it's a holiday. Yeah, it's like it's more of a like religious holiday for people in Ireland who celebrate it. And then meanwhile in America, everybody's just like, let's get wasted. And I just think that's so funny. I love watching it happen every single year. Halloween and Christmas are the only ones that really matter. Halloween and Christmas are my two favorites. Halloween is probably my favorite just like aesthetically and mood-wise. I love Halloween. To me, it's Halloween all year round. I entertain the idea of doing Halloween content today just as like a, no, it's not Valentine's Day, it's Halloween. But I didn't. I found these books and I was like, you know what? This is a great time to cross these off our list. And I probably should get reading. This one's much shorter, so I'll start with this one. If I want to stop reading before 12 hours is up. For me, it's Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, then my birthday on February 25th. Happy early birthday, by the way. That's coming up. My grandfather just recently had a birthday. We are up to 16 people in chat. Hi, guys. I guess I thought for a second it wasn't worth streaming tonight because nobody would be available, but I was wrong. I'm glad I'm here. Get wasted is more base than religious holiday, let's be honest. I'm not saying either one is better than the other. I'm not like asserting opinions. I just think it's funny that those are two very distinct, different ways that people will acknowledge St. Patrick's Day, and it's never anything in between. It's either like this is a religious holiday because we're Irish Catholic and this is like a big deal to us, or it's happy let's get wasted day, which I just think is funny. I did manage to find a really cheap heart-shaped cookie tin thing I can use for Mother's Day. Yay! I'd watch the on Valentine's Day. Wait, what is TNAOW? I should know what that stands for, but that's so many letters and my brain is like, whoa. It's very American of us. It is, isn't it? We just said, I thought you guys would have plans. No, I'm not saying nobody has plans. I just was like, when it's a holiday, you know what I mean? I was just like, if it's a holiday, I thought, people would be like, nah, I'm not going to waste my holiday with a boring stream. Especially my boring stream where everything breaks all the time. Hello, Misfiring. Oh, New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Thank you. I already did. Is there another Valentine's Day one? I definitely did the Valentine's Day one last year on a whim. I remember because I remember I lost my footage and then recovered it and then literally was like, the Super Bowl was on and I was like, this has to go up tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And just like, I edited it faster than I've ever edited any video. DK Tro, Valentine's Day is far more a corporate holiday, with one of the only interesting things about it being St. Valentine, St. Valentine's Day Massacre being a huge mob hit in Chicago. Yeah. I mean, I guess the history of St. Valentine as a historical figure is very interesting, too. But yes, it's very corporate. Nobody's like, wow, the historical significance of Valentine's Day. My only plans were therapy, and I canceled because I have too much stuff this week. That's valid. Like I was saying before, I think some of you were in chat, in true Demi fashion, I have never had a Valentine, so like I never do anything for Valentine's Day. I've literally never had any plans, so thank you guys for being willing to hang out with me. So you know what would be funny? Time traveling. That would be funny. My mate told me that Valentine's Day was named after. Yeah, St. Valentine was I believe, bishop who broke the law by marrying soldiers. Like, soldiers weren't supposed to be getting married, and then he was like, but you should be, so he, like, married them anyway. Lack of a Valentine? Same. Always. Story of my entire 26 years running at Natty. Which is fine. You don't need a Valentine. I've got a Coca-Cola and Apple books, so I hope you all have fun, if nothing else, on this stream today. So yeah, let's read. Let me pull up my Goodreads. I really should just do a stream one time where I just take you guys with me while I'm doing my Goodreads housekeeping. That's probably very boring to some people, but to my brain, that would be like super fun. Ooh, I see Patrick wants to read the Charmed books, one of which I got in the mail from Patrick. Yay. Also, this Junie B. Jones, Boo and I Mean It, I was so offended on behalf of Junie B. Jones. This did not have a cover. And I was like, how does it not have a cover? What do you mean it doesn't have a cover? So this This is a picture of my copy that I took and put it in there. And I was very proud of myself. I was like, yay, librarian moment. Anyway. Let's see. The kissing. Oh, guys, you guys aren't seeing my screen, I just realized. Yeah, the Junie B. Jones cover, if you look up Junie B. Jones on paperback on Goodreads, that's my picture. It's literally a picture of my copy just sitting here on this desk because they didn't have one. Just like my favorite holiday. Yeah, St. Patrick is all in the celebration of Patrick, who sends us great books to read on stream, obviously. Do you find it fascinating, though, that Valentine is a name people can have? I was always jealous of people that, like, had the name Valentine. I don't think I've ever met one in person. I know of some, like, more or less, I guess, historical or famous figures, but I always think of Dirk Valentine from the Nancy Drew game / book, Secret of Shadow Ranch, and I was always jealous because I already have the last name that starts with a V that's very long, but it's not Valentine. It's Vandenhouten, which is, like, fine, I guess. The Roman emperors thought bidding his soldiers to marry would keep them in the army and in fights. Yes, so that's what happened. Saint Valentine broke the law and married Roman soldiers who weren't allowed to get married. And then they threw him in prison. And then he became a martyr and a saint. There you go. It's all about you, Patrick, this year. Hi, Patrick. If you're watching this back, Patrick was in chat and then left. But if you're back, if you come back, or if you watch this back tomorrow or sometime, that's what St. Patrick's Day is to all of us. Our older name. If you saw it more years ago. Yeah. All right. So I have questions about the kissing contest. Is the 5th grade ready? I feel like this is going to go into cringe territory, but I just have to know how cringe. Do you know what I mean, guys? And what better day to get this cringe out of the way than on today? What some people consider the cringiest holiday. Nope, there it is. You know it's an obscure book when even Goodreads is like, what are you reading? What? I wonder if this author has written other things. Yep, she's written a lot of kids' books. I don't see a list, but it says in her profile that she's written a bunch of other things. Famous Valentine was Valentine Hatfield, one of the Hatfield and McCoy feud. Ah, yes, that's such an interesting historical event, isn't it? Are you smarter than a 5th grader? I have long since wanted to do a video where I play Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader with one of my friends, and we just try to see who can score higher. Who is actually smarter than the 5th grader? Hi, Milo. You have not missed much. I was just getting into it. We're going to be reading Kristy's Mystery Admirer, but first there's this short little book called The Kissing Contest, which is just another little Apple paperback, which I was sent by Patrick, and to which I went, what? I have questions. The back of it says, yuck, Kelsey is not sure how she started the idea of a kissing contest in the 5th grade Halloween party. Aha! Halloween always makes its entrance. But now she's in charge, and she's never been so popular. But Kelsey has never even kissed a boy. She doesn't know how anything about this stuff. How can she be a kissing expert for the contest? What will the 5th graders do when they find out she's a phony? Will she have to kiss her life in 5th grade goodbye? There's a lot to unpack there. So I need to know what's in this book because it's been sitting on my shelf, and every time I'm just like, what? Did anybody read this? Is this like something that I'm late to the party to? And everybody's like, oh yeah, I love the book. I literally have never heard of this book before. I've heard of actual kissing contests. They're like marathons where you have to keep your lips locked together for the longest. Ooh, that feels like something 10-year-olds shouldn't be doing. But I might just be a mom friend. Let's see. Whoop, I'm missing things in chat. Middle school and kissing already sounds atrocious. It surely can't be as bad as Model Land, right? Ooh, since you said that, and since this is already an impromptu stream, and since it's already almost 9 o'clock and I've been procrastinating, let me see. I have some potential prospective Model Land merch, or merch for our read-through of Model Land. I would love to know what chat thinks of these. Let me see if I can pull it up. So I did some research on Model Land as a trademark, and it was abandoned, but then picked up by, it technically is still owned by one of Tyra Banks' subsidiary companies, but like it's also about to be abandoned by that company because they need to renew it like immediately, and they haven't like filed any kind of motion with it in years. I was doing, for those of you who don't know, you can just look up trademark and copyright. It's all public information. But I was trying to figure out how legal it would be, and so I decided on a compromise because I didn't want to not put out my Model Land designs, but I also didn't want to deal with it if it was technically not kosher legally. Ollie occasionally, hi Ollie, good to see you. Sounds like Model Land for babies. Oh God, please no, please not that, anything but that. So I went with a compromise. If I can pull it up, I would love to share with the class. Kissing contest seemed like something nobody should be doing. Yes. This was clearly written many years ago in a pre-COVID world. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, this is an even shorter book than I realized because the back of it is all just answers to questions from chapter 12. Apparently, we're going to get questions. Did anybody read the Gymnast series? Did anybody read Sleepover Friends by Susan Saunders? And did anybody read Bad News Ballet? These are all things that are being advertised to me in the back of this Apple book. And of course, the Babysitter's Club, their most popular thing. The art on the book reminds me of a lot of short chapter books my childhood church I went to with my grandmother had. Yeah, Babysitter's Club book was what jogged my memories. Yes, these are both Apple books. I sometimes wonder if Apple paperbacks just have the same artist to do all of the covers, and you don't really get a say as an author for a paperback. But I'd love to for Apple paperbacks. But I'd like to know. Hey, Boots, read the Sleepover Friends. Cool. I've never read any of those. Hang on. Let me pull this up because I really do want to show everybody. Okay. So, let's see. How can I, let me share this so that you guys can see my Affinity photo. And don't freak out because I'm working on like 3 different projects at once in Affinity photo. Don't judge me, please. Nope. Your mode. Okay, so let me just show you this real quick. So this one, this is something that I would love to put on a t-shirt. It says, I survived the model book, and all I got was this shirt and trauma, which makes me laugh very, very much. I think it's very stupid in a way that makes me really want to own a t-shirt that says this. Babysitter's Club, but all the babysitters are Vicky. I don't really remember which one is Vicky. Introduction to BSC was the Netflix version. Then I've stumbled across the 90s version in the film. I definitely read 1 or 2 as a kid, but not that many, and this is definitely something that I'm kind of experiencing all over again for chat. I want to see... I also like this one. I like this one. Can you not? Inspired by the can you survive Model Land. Very simple, but I was very happy with it. What else did I make? I made several other ones. We have one that just says Tyra Y. Because I feel like that kind of sums up how we all feel. And then we have, there was one other one. This one is really hard to see because it's white, but it looks like a Harvard University, and it says Model Book Survivor, and then it says Tyra Y with the year in the middle. I don't know. I had a lot of fun with these. They may or may not see the light of day. one, but the colors aren't my taste. That's fair. I'm gonna work with the colors a little bit. I don't know. They're green and brown for her like mismatched eyes, whatever, but I love the last one. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna play around with the colors a little bit. Because I don't really love the colors either, but that's kind of what that's kind of where we are. So that's what we're working with. So thank you for the feedback. I will play around with them. But yeah, I thought they were funny. Love the last one. Thank you. So yeah, that's the thing that I wanted to update everybody on. And I guess I should start reading. Maybe the colors on the cover of the book. That's a good, it's a lot of, what is it? It's a lot of like navy blue, and I think there's a little bit of green and yellow. I have the book. I could go get it. I just don't feel like taking it out of I don't feel like taking it off the shelf until we're ready to read it. I feel like I need a full week of cleanse from Model Land. Cannot write it. The can you survive Model Land was just what an experience. Don't look at the monster. But that is a good idea. It should be the colors of the book. That'll be way better. Thank you, Natty. So anyway, yes, let's see what the kissing contest is all about. Other Apple paperbacks you'll enjoy. That's what friends are for. After the fortune cookies. Glass slippers give you blisters. Oh, that would have been a fun one for Fairy Tale February. Boys are yucko and eat your heart out, Victoria Chubb. I never read any of those. I don't know if that's because the books are obscure or if even me it probably was just because a lot of the Apple paperbacks were seen as like girly, and I always thought girly stuff was lame as a kid. It's a bunny. I need inspo for the BJD. Ball jointed doll. Oh, it's a bunny. Oh, like a name? Like name suggestions? All the kids in the book look incredibly not interested in having the contest. As they shouldn't. This is just, yeah. Let's see how this goes. Hey, Julia. I thought that was a dog in the corner, but it's your head. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, we're on the bad camera today, because the other camera was giving us all a migraine and flipping out, so just for a design. Interesting. Does anybody have any bunny design experiments? Suggestions. That's the word I was looking for. All right. Kelsey Minor wrote her name in the upper right-hand corner of the test paper in the fancy new style she'd been practicing all week. I used to do that all the time. She dotted the I in minor with a little heart and swirled 4 of the letters to underline the whole name. It looked like this. This is what it looked like, Chad. It very much looks like what a 10-year-old girl thinks her signature is going to be for her entire life. Under that, she wrote 5th grade spelling tests. Then she stared back at David Bonicelli's head. She stared at the back of David Bonicelli's head. Number 1, Mr. Hale's skinny 6-foot frame rose from behind the desk and leaned against the chalkboard. Airplane. As Mr. Hale used the spelling word in a sample sentence, Kelsey made up her own sample sentence. Inside her head, David Bonicelli and I flew our airplane into the Oklahoma sunset. Number 2, Mr. Hale moved away. Bets on her at some point in this book writing her first name with like his last name. Did anybody else do that? Number 2, Mr. Hale moved away from the chalkboard. The back of his green vest was blotched white with chalk, looking as if someone had thrown a giant powder puff at him. A few kids snickered. Kelsey concentrated on writing airplane in her fancy new style, dotting the I with a tiny heart. Code, said Mr. Hale. Number 2 is code. Code feels like an easy word, even for 10-year-olds. David Bonicelli and I talk in a secret code, known only to us, Kelsey whispered to herself in place of Mr. Hale's sample sentence. Number 3, rescue. I rescue David Botticelli as he hangs by his fingertips above the shark-infested pool. That one got intense. Mr. Hale began his traditional spelling test walk around the edge of the classroom. This girl thinks she's like Ruby Redford with the shark-infested pool save? Damn. He always started his walk between the third and fourth spelling words and completed the circle on the circle of the desks, one on word number 20. Kelsey glanced at her best friend, Andrea Geese. Geese? Andrea pretended to yawn. Kelsey covered her own mouth. Oh, it's gonna make me yawn. With one hand to keep from laughing out loud. Just once, they wished Mr. Hale would do something different, like walk in the other direction. Begin his circle on the second word, or the fifth. Walk up to the center aisle. Trip. Anything different. Mr. Hale was as predictable as a pencil sharpener. Kelsey accidentally wrote rescue in her old, unfancy style. She rubbed her pink eraser over the word and wrote it the fancy way, ending the E with a little curlicue. Wedding, Mr. Hale said, continuing his slow circle. Word number 4 is wedding. Kelsey smiled to herself as she thought up all the kinds of possibilities for her next sample sentence. So far, this is reading like one of those like sleep stories that are like engineered to kind of like help you drift off. Trying not to be too hard on the children's book, but you know. I think my mom tried to teach us cursive and then gave up. I never really learned cursive. Might make the bunny... Oh, like the white rabbit? That's so cute. Hey, Late Horror Show. We're looking at some more... Well, this one's a little less obscure. This one's a little more obscure. Apple paperbacks tonight. I might make... These words are a little bit... I mean, they're 10? But still, yeah, the second one especially feels... Code feels like you should know it for sure. That's a softball question, even in the 5th grade. Alice in Wonderland in live action. Also, sorry for it. You're good, Ollie. You're not ranting. I did that, but I wasn't 10. I was 17. I don't remember when I did it, but definitely school age. I think a lot of girls have done that. It's like, oh, I'm gonna change my name, and this is how it's gonna look when so and so and I get married. I'm sorry, Jay. Today can really suck for people. What pencil sharpener has she been using? Right? Pencil sharpeners aren't really what I would have used to describe predictability. Hi, Hale. I think I'm gonna make it March Hare inspired because I prefer him. March Hare is pretty cute. I do like the March Hare quite a lot. Even Andy. Oh, that's cute. Chapter 2. What are you going to be for Halloween? Andrea asked as they waited for the bus after school. I don't know, Kelsey answered. Andrea flipped her red hair over the top of her head and hung it upside down, giving her head 5 violent shakes. Then she shook her mane over her shoulder, letting her tousled ends tumble down her back. Down her back. In disarray. Andrea never combed her hair. She liked the wild look. What are you going to be for Halloween? Kelsey asked, brushing back her own dark hair, which was too short and straight to be wild. A rock star. Andrea gave her head another shake for good measure. Why? Because they all have messed up hair? No, Andrea sighed. How do you... I guess it's like a... Because I like to sing. Oh? Kelsey tried to think of something she'd like to do that could be for Halloween. That she could be for Halloween, sorry. She liked to swim. That's why she kept her hair short. She thought about coming to school wearing nothing but her swimsuit. Bad idea. Very bad idea. For multiple reasons. The school bus arrived, whirring and groaning as it ground to a stop. Kelsey wondered why school buses always sounded as if they were in great pain. How is she hanging? And never mind. I have too many questions. I'll move on. Well, you'd better decide fast, Andrea said, boarding the bus ahead of her, because Halloween is next Friday. Kelsey slid into the seat next to Andrea. I'll think about it over the weekend. All the kids on the bus were chattering about what they were going to be for Halloween. A dancer, a monster, an alien, a game show host. That one got a lot of laughs. Andrea leaned close to whisper into Kelsey's ear. I have to believe that kid just wants to go as, what's his name, from David Ruprat from Supermarket Sweep, given the era. Are you going to sit next to him at the party? Her wild hair fell across Kelsey's notebook. Sit next to who? At what party? Andrea gave another tisk sigh. I've never seen that before. That's so interesting. Sit next to David Bonicelli at our class Halloween party. David Bonicelli at our class Halloween party. Shh. Kelsey's eyes darted to the kids around her to see if anyone had overheard Andrea's words. I'm whispering, Andrea whispered. You whisper too loud. Well, what? Are you going to kiss? What? I mean, sit. You said kiss. My tongue slipped. Andrea burst into giggles. Kelsey pretended to be in shock because she was in shock. Really? Andrea gulped air between giggles. I meant to say, are you going to sit next to him? Kelsey waited until Andrea stopped gulping, then whispered, I don't know if I have enough nerves to sit next to him. She gave into the giggles, and I could never kiss him in a zillion years, not even if we had a kissing contest. Instantly, two heads appeared over the top of the seats. That's the name of the book. Did you say kissing contest? Asked one of the... Brian Kenton. Brianna Kenton. Brianna Kenton is who the head that was eavesdropping belonged to. What a fantastic idea, said the other head, Molly Day. Kelsey's temperature shot up 500 degrees. I hope not, because she'd be dead. They'd heard her. Andrea's giggles turned into hysteria. When is the kissing contest? Came a voice from behind them. At the Halloween party next Friday, answered Brianna. Fantastic, exclaimed Molly. Molly liked to say fantastic. It was her favorite word. Kelsey slumped in her seat and willed herself to disappear. Who's putting on a kissing contest? Came two voices from across the aisle. Kelsey Minor, answered Brina. I've been reading her name wrong, I think. It's Brina. Yeah, it's Brina. I was inserting an extra letter into her name. It's Brina. Andrea's hysterics slid her off the seat and onto the floor of the bus. Mood. Kelsey grabbed the shoulder of Andrea's jacket and pulled her back into her seat. Look what you started. Me? I didn't say anything about your contest. My contest? Kelsey hissed. What contests? And Andrea grinned and shook her wild hair. The kissing contest you're putting on next Friday at our class Halloween party. This poor child. Ugh. Middle school. They're in elementary school. They're not even in middle school. Being shallow and heartless is no consequence. I should pick a costume for Purim. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know anything about that. I don't think I knew that costumes were involved. Unless you're in the Kingdom Hearts universe. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God, middle school. It's not even middle school. They're 5th graders. They're in elementary school. That's somehow worse. I have an alternate doctor. Story I'm thinking of. I want to use... Let's see. No, it's just perspective and all. The book looks gigantic compared to small. I'm very small. This is a small book. This is not a big. Neither one of these books are big. These are both children's books. I'm just really tiny, and I think you can't really tell because I'm always behind the desk. And today I'm on the crappy camera. I'm going to be a space magician. I like your style. Nice. This is going to start slowly replacing other buses with electric ones. Interesting. That's good. Pirate or a cowgirl would be fun. Would be fun. I was a pirate when I was about the age of the characters in this book. I was really, really into Pirates of the Caribbean. And I was like a kind of girly pirate. I had leggings and a little like frilly skirt that kind of came out. It was very nice. Spelling test. It's a spelling test. They're just supposed to write them down. Like, you know, like you just like write the words and then your teacher is like, oh, you spelled these all wrong if you're me. If you're my mom teaching me stuff. Okay. Heartless. Even worse, yeah. What school would facilitate a kissing contest? I have no idea. When was this book published? Probably early 90s? Do we think early 90s? Probably. 1990 is this one. So yes, very early 90s. Practically the 80s still. So that's who. Oh, both of these books were 1990. I didn't do that on purpose, but this is a 1990. Welcome to Valentine's Day 1990. Korean is super fun and people wear costumes, but also it can be sensory hell because noisemakers. I see. Yeah, sensory hell is something that I definitely know. 90s were very weird. 90s were like this weird time when like parents were just starting to worry about the safety of their children. Before Natty. Yeah, I wasn't born in 1990 either. I wouldn't have been born for another 6 years. Anyway, this book is very fast-paced, but it's very short too, so I'm not gonna complain. ADHD brain loves a good short book. Perry, do you want to come say hi? Hang on, guys. Perry wants to say hi. Perry would like to say Happy Valentine's Day. There's like even more stuff in here because I have another chair. Ah! I was 5. Late 90s and grew up in the 2000s. Sounds like you're about my little brother's age. Hi, Perry. Perry says hi, and she hopes you all had a very good Valentine's Day. I'm gonna scream. My brown paint dried? No! I just got some brown crafting paint because I want to do a video where I go through Once Upon a Time and find all of the stories and try to like make as accurate as I can of like an actual replica of Henry's book. Costume. White dress shirt, black dress pants and shoes, red gloves, and a black top hat with a red black rim line. That's cool. And a red bow tie. That sounds cool. I wonder if my mom can make Perry a sweater or cat toys. She does that for local shelter. Oh, that's so sweet of your mom. I love that. That's adorable. Perry never had to be in a shelter because somebody reached out to my mom and was like, hey, you foster cats, right? This cat is under my porch and I think she's pregnant. And she was. So we took her in and we were going to adopt her out. We adopted all of her babies out when it was time. But then she had kind of like weaseled her way into the family. And she had kind of become very attached to me, so we kept her. In fact, the first time you see her on this channel, I believe, is one of the early Beyond Belief videos, and you can see, I think I still say this is my foster cat, because we hadn't officially decided to keep her yet. She likes having projects to do, so, aw. That's so sweet of your mom. Your mom is adorable. Hi. 4 boxes full of old craft paint. Various states of old. I know that feeling. My mom and I are both very crafty, so we just have like tons of like gear that we're just like, are we gonna use this or should we just get new stuff? Dried up paint. The paint isn't dry, yay! Okay, Perry, do you want to help me read? You can't just hold the whole stream up because you want pets. That's not how this works. Like, yeah, it is. I'm the CEO of this company. You can see her little snaggletooth at the right angle. It's actually kind of cute. Okay, anyway, I'm going to lean back for a second because Perry, I'm sure she will decide that there are more important things eventually. Hi, Perry. You going to sit here with us? All right, chapter 3, Perry. Kelsey spent the entire weekend trying to decide what she was going to be for Halloween. Each idea seemed too normal. A witch, a princess, a hobo. Hobo doesn't sound like a very good costume. Her mom suggested a ghost, but no one dressed like a ghost anymore. She wanted to be something unique. Well, if nobody does it anymore, wouldn't it be unique anyway? Kelsey rode her bike to Andrea's house on Sunday afternoon. She watched Andrea try on every single piece of clothing in her closet until she pulled together a rock star outfit that was outrageous yet believable. Still, it didn't give Kelsey any ideas about a costume of her own. Ah, well, she had a few more days to make up her mind. On Monday morning, Kelsey missed the bus. Perry, no ma'am. Her mom drove her to school before going on to the university where she took classes. Kelsey stepped from her mother's car, waved goodbye, then trotted across the schoolyard. The nippy autumn wind ruffled her hair and spiraled colorful leaves away from her feet as she ran. All right, hang on, Perry. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I dressed up as Hannah Montana once. I really wanted to dress up as Hannah Montana, but I didn't. Whoop! I don't know what I just did. Hit something on the stream deck that I didn't. Chaos Cat was scratching at the door, and when I finally opened it, she just flopped down and was like, no, I don't want to. Oh no. Here he is like chaos. Appropriate. Oh no. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. All right. The instant she joined the 5th grade line in the spot Andrea had saved for her, the usual loud jabbering shut off like a water sprinkler. Everyone's eyes were glued to her. What's going on? Kelsey whispered. Oh, sorry. What's going on? Kelsey whispered. You, Andrea shot back. Me. You and your kissing contest. Andrea had a funny look on her face, making Kelsey suspect her best friend had helped the contest rumor spread through the 5th grade faster than David Bonicelli downhilled on his killer skateboard. I guess it's a very specific... Anyway. Yeah, Kel, called Brina. Tell us the rules for the contest. Can anyone compete? Asked Molly. Kissing, shouted Adam Aldridge. Yuck! I think Adam Aldridge might be onto something. Girls on both sides of Adam slapped at him. Kelsey had laughed off the episode on the bus going home last night. You're gonna have to wait until the end of the chapter now, Perry. Because kids were always a little crazy before the weekend. She never dreamed Andrea's slip of the tongue would grow into such a big deal. Are you going to be the judge? Came a voice. From behind her, it was David Botticelli. He was talking to her. Me? Judge? Kelsey heard her voice squeak. She hated it when her voice squeaked. Yeah, the others chimed in. Who's gonna pick the winner? Andrea held up one hand as if she were the referee. It's Kelsey Miner's contest, she started, sounding a little like Mr. Hale. And Kelsey will decide who, what, when, where, and how. Now she really sounded like Mr. Hale. The bell rang. Lions snaked towards the building. Kelsey grabbed Andrea's arm and pulled her from the line. She waited until everyone had passed. Andrea, what are you doing? Nothing. Why didn't you tell everyone there's no such thing as a kissing contest? Because there could be. What do you mean? There could be. Andrea, you're 10. You're children. You're too young for this. We have contests for perfect attendance, spelling contest, contest for the most books read, the highest high jump jumped, the lowest note sung in music. I won that one, remember? Oh, all right, Miss Alto. I guess she's part of the Alto Club. And contest to see who can finish the multiplication drills the fastest. Andrea stopped to take a breath. See, we have contests for everything, so why not a contest for kissing? Jesus. They're 10. Kelsey was fascinated in spite of herself, but what does that have to do with me? You're the one who came up with the idea. So you get to the planet and, set the rules. It's the idea of the year. Girls. They both jumped as Ms. McFarland, the gym teacher, yelled at them. You'll be late. Let's go. Andrea started towards the school building. Kelsey walked backwards in front of her, trying to slow her down. Her friend always seemed to know what was going on when Kelsey didn't. Maybe Andrea could tell her what to do. But Kelsey paused, putting both hands on top of her head to emphasize her confusion. Put both hands on top of your heads the next time you need to emphasize your confusion. I don't know what a kissing contest is because you're 10 and you're too young for this. Andrea took hold of Kelsey's shoulders and spun her frontwards. You will, she said, giving her a friendly shove, by Friday. Oh boy. Perry is chaos in a kitty body. All cats are chaos, but Perry is like a special kind of chaos. I will say that. A really cute dress when I was younger. Oh, with like velvet quilted fabric and everything. I think my parents still have it. That's so cute. Like any of them know how. I hope not. Kid made by grandmother until I was Sully in 2002. That's cute. At this age, dances consist of boys standing on one side of the cafeteria and girls on the other, the two never meeting. Texas, for me, it was my mom chaperoning, so I would leave with snacks. Oh, whole contest just sounds like a very bad idea for many, many reasons. Yes, it does. My mom did that once. I didn't go to dance again until my husband asked me to the winter formal. Oh, that's cute, Texas. For me, anything goes near and dear to my heart. Like someone hugging me when I'm not I'll hurt someone. So this entire book concept is weird to me. Yep. My mom did that for most dances and I loved it. I went to most dances and helped. On Halloween I basically had a costume. Doctor costume, another Halloween. I was a fancy Jedi for my winter. Oh, that's cool. Hi, Perry. All right. Hang on. I'll let you out. Or do you want to come back up? Is that what you want? What are you screaming about? I can't speak cat. Come here. They don't have that in Duolingo. Excuse you. Can you stay off the table, maybe? Don't shed in my drink. Perry. What, Perry? What? Perry. Hi. Perry, you don't drink Coca-Cola. Perry did almost ban you once by accident. She did not know what she did. I hear that if you wet a toothbrush and brush your cat with it, they love it because it like reminds them of like it's similar to like their mom grooming them as a kitten. And I need to try it because I see all these like videos online where I see all these TikToks where people are just like their cat's just like just like sprawled out, just like chilling because they find it really chill, like cat ASMR. Came back to Kitty. Hi, yes. Hi, Perry. All right. Chapter 4. Good morning, 5th graders, Kelsey mumbled to herself. Good morning, 5th graders, exclaimed Mr. Hale with every morning at 9 o'clock enthusiasm. He pulled out his attendance roster. If you're absent today, please raise your hand. If you're absent today, please raise your hand. Chuckle, chuckle, Kelsey said to herself. It had been funny the first day of school, but now it was October. They were doomed to hearing the same jokes every day for the entire year. Question? I guess it was a question. There was a question mark? Every year, all year? After the usual morning rituals, Kelsey tried to concentrate on her reading assignments. Can you lay down, please? There we go. Thank you. It was about kids in Norway getting a holiday from school this week to harvest potatoes. At least they used to harvest potatoes in the old days. Now they got a short vacation from school to do other things. The holiday was called Potessory, Potato Days. Is that a thing in Norway? Because that's amazing. Oh, we laying down? What are we doing? Lay down. But every time Kelsey got to the second page of the story, something made her glance up. Kids were smiling at her. Kids who never smiled at her, like Melissa Tucker or David Monticelli. Melissa had even sharpened a pencil for her, and David had picked up her jacket this morning after Adam Aldridge knocked it off its hook. Why was everyone so nice to her all of a sudden? Why, Perry? Why would they do that? Kids aren't nice. Is this what being popular was like? All because of a contest that didn't exist? Kelsey turned the page in her reading book and stared at a picture of 19th century Norwegian kids digging potatoes under a huge Scandinavian sun and dropping them into brown burlap bags. Part of her felt like standing at the desk right then and there and shouting, "Look, guys, there is no kissing contest. There never has been a kissing contest, and there never will be a kissing contest." And another part of her said, "If this is what being popular is like, I think I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts." A shadow fell across the page of her reading text. Kelsey looked up. Melissa, Brina, and Molly. Oh, we getting down? What are we doing? We trying to knock the computer off? All right. Hi, Chris. Maddie is not in touch with her inner feline, to my knowledge, at least the ability of cosplaying Perry, so yeah, we'll go with Perry. Yeah, she does love us. She is sweet. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Cutie. Let's see. I'm distracting myself with other messages and other messages. Yes, cat who inconveniences Avery for cuddles. I love it when she cuddles, but it's when she tries to knock everything off the desk that I'm just like, Perry. Oh, if we're talking about our Maddie is uses she her pronouns just for future reference. Hang on, she's barging out, trying to get out again. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Okay, where was I? We were yelling about kissing contests and potatoes. No worries, Chris. Just thought I'd let you know. Where was I? Well, last shadow fell across the page of her reading text. Kelsey looked up. Melissa, Brina, and Molly huddled over her left shoulder. Will you eat lunch with us today? Brina whispered. Kelsey stared at them, wondering if they'd mistaken her for somebody else. Somebody popular. She raised her shoulders in a shrug. Fantastic, Molly gushed. Kelsey returned her attention to the reading assignment, starting over again on page 1, the potato story, but it was no use. Potatoes were the last thing on her mind. Isn't the teacher intervening if she's, like, being distracted constantly from her work? In order to keep the instant popularity going, she'd have to come up with a real contest. Slumping at her desk, she closed her reading book as well as her eyes. I'm creative, she said to herself. Maybe if I can concentrate hard enough, I can invent some kind of competition that, with any luck at all, might vaguely resemble whatever a kissing contest is supposed to be. Chat headcanon that Maddie is a druid. I love it. Okay, so I need to text her and make her aware of this new headcanon. And we all need to remind her of this headcanon when we launch the Discord server. Because she is very excited about the Discord server. We all just need to be like, hey, you're a druid. Don't tell her yet? Okay. Oh, are we keeping this a secret until next week? Hey, Patrick. To think I found this for $1. It's so funny what you can find at secondhand shops, right? I've never heard of this book before. Goodreads had barely heard of this book before. She needs to tell us her stats. I love it. Wait until the next stream. Copy you. I will do that. Yes, everybody. Everybody, when she shows up, when you show up to chat, just be like, hey, it's the druid. She'll be very confused. It'll be funny. Chapter 5. Mom, Kelsey began carefully, loading plates into the dishwasher after dinner. Have you ever competed in a contest? What kind of contest? Her mom asked, looking up from the pile of accounting textbooks scattered in front of her. Her mom's a badass, by the way. She's being a mom, she's doing mom things, and she's going through school. We love this. We love that. She seemed grateful for the question, so she could stop studying for a few minutes. Any kind of contest. Let me see. Mrs. Minor tapped the keys on her calculator as she thought. Well, in high school, I was on the swim team. That was very competitive. What were some of the rules you had to follow? Kelsey's mom grinned at her. Are you thinking about joining the swim team when you get into high school? Kelsey dried her hands with a towel. Reached for her notebook and pencil, stalling. This is not the way she'd meant for the conversation to go. Sure, she said, biting the end of her pencil. I might join the swim team, but right now I'm more interested in rules. Well, okay, her mom imitated Kelsey, biting the end of her pen. The rules, as I remember, are don't start until the whistle blows. Kelsey jotted that down in her notebook. Don't hold your breath. Oh, no. And she wrote that down, too. And oh, yes, this was the coach's favorite. Give it all you've got. Oh, no. No. Kelsey's pencil scribbled across the page. Thanks, Mom, she said, heading for the hallway. Kel, wait. She stopped to listen. Have you decided what you're going to be for Halloween? Kelsey shook her head. Please think about it, dear. It'll probably take a couple of days to get a costume together. I know. Remember last year? Kelsey laughed. We stayed up half the night trying to make me look like an alien from outer space. Yeah, by 1 o'clock in the morning, we both looked like aliens from outer space. Her mom opened her accounting book. Promise you'll make up your mind soon? Promise? Promise. Kelsey rounded a corner and found her dad reading in the family room. Groucho, her black and white cat, sprawled across his lap, looked as though he were reading the book along with her dad. She opened the notebook, tapping her pencil point on the page to get her father's attention. Have you ever competed in a contest? He looked up from his book. Sure I have. Lots of times. The last one was my triathlon. What were the rules? He laid down his book and took off his glasses, smiling. What a surprise, Kel. Are you training to be in a triathlon? Dad. He always interpreted things she said the wrong way. She could probably handle the swimming part, but not the running and cycling too. I just want to know the rules. Looking disappointed, he ruffled Groucho's fur. Well, some of the rules, as I remember, were train hard for the event, eat spaghetti the night before, and keep drinking water. Oh no, that's not good. Everybody's like, no. That's for swimming. There's not a Discord yet, Chris, but we're gonna set one up probably tomorrow. We should have a server set up. Oh God, no! I know everybody's just like, no. Wait, what's happening? Why would you think swimming is the same as kissing? She's 10. She has no idea what kissing is. And whatever you do, don't stop until you're finished, her dad said. Kelsey copied his words into the notebook. I'm so stressed. I don't like this at all. Why spaghetti, she asked. Because your body has more energy if you load up on carbohydrates before endurance event. Oh, dads were always so logical. She kissed him on the cheek. Thanks. Is that all you wanted? That's all. Kelsey reached up to pet Groucho, tickling in between his back toes the way he liked. Weird. Okay. What kind of contest are you planning? Contest. There he goes again, reading between the lines. Well, he's not wrong. Well, I assumed from your question you're organizing some kind of competition at school. Sort of, feeble answer, Kelsey. So what will you be doing in this contest? She backed up to the doorway, hoping to avoid further questions. We'll be, digging potatoes. Kelsey couldn't believe those words had come out of her very own mouth, but how could she tell her dad she was organizing a kissing contest? She somehow wished it were a potato digging contest. It sounded a lot less complicated. Oh, I wish it was potato digging too, except for the fact that they'd have to grow the potatoes before they could dig for them. Both her father and Groucho gave her puzzled looks and then went back to their book. Oh, even Groucho. Kelsey groaned all the way down the hallway to her room. What were her chances of convincing the entire 5th grade that a potato digging contest would be much more challenging and fun than a kissing contest? Cute and terrifying at the same time. The Discord server? Or the idea of a kissing contest? A lot of people kiss on TV and knew the implications. I mean, yeah. The 10-year-old just is like, has a little crush on another 10-year-old and kisses them. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but this is cringe. I'm cringing so hard, DK. Oh God, I can't. When I was 10, I knew that wasn't gonna... I knew I wasn't gonna do this stuff. I'm so stressed. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. A ghost story contest would be better. Anything would be better than this. I don't like it. My review so far is thanks, I hate it. At least I was right. This is a very short book. We are blazing through. Tuesday was even worse than Monday. News of the kissing contest had now spread throughout the entire school. Kids who didn't know who Kelsey Minor was the week before knew now. Not only knew, but stopped and stared at her as she walked down the hall. Or when she was at recess or lunch. For the second day in a row, it was hard for her to concentrate on her reading assignment. The October holiday in the morning story was rain-making day in South Africa. The queen of the Lovedu people puts a secret medicine into her rain pot. Then the children dance until the rain begins to fall. Kelsey thought about the dance they'd had last year when she was in 4th grade. At first, the teachers said no, but the class begged and begged until the teachers finally gave in. Everyone in class brought music tapes from home. Ooh, music tapes. Then nobody danced. Nobody. It was so embarrassing. If it were up to the 4th graders of Oklahoma to dance for rain, the state would be as parched as a sandbox. A note fluttered onto the page of Kelsey's reading book. She glanced up to see if Mr. Hale was watching. He was at his desk putting in his contact lenses. That meant it was lunchtime. Mr. Hale always took off his glasses and put in his contact lenses right before the bell rang. Every single day. Kelsey unfolded the note, smoothing it on top of her book. Dear Kelsey, did you bring your lunch today? If so, let's eat at our special place. Your friend, Andrea G. Kelsey's heart skittered. Brina, Molly, and Melissa had asked her to eat lunch with them again today. She'd already said yes. Andrea hadn't minded eating alone yesterday, but 2 days in a row? Maybe she should invite Andrea along too. Would the others mind? Sometimes her friend acted a little weird. It was okay around Kelsey because they'd been friends forever. But what would the others think? The lunch bell rang. Andrea caught up with her at the door. So you want to go outside? Their special place to eat was on the brick wall that linked the school to the chain fence. Kids who brought their lunch could eat either in the cafeteria or outside. I'm staying in today, Kelsey answered, trying not to look into Andrea's eyes. Why? I think it's going to rain. Andrea Tisk sighed. The third Tisk sigh? What a move. I've never heard of this before. Does anybody else default to the old tisk sigh? That's interesting. Come eat with me in the cafeteria. Kelsey knew her invitation sounded insincere. Are you eating with them? Andrea rolled her eyes and pushed the tip of her nose up with one finger. Kelsey shrugged. Maybe. So what? All they do is comb their hair and talk about boys. They're, again, 10. They're not even in middle school yet. Kelsey had noticed too, but it hadn't really bothered her, except she had nothing to add to the conversation, even when they asked her who she liked. Kelsey figured they'd think she was a baby if she said no one, so she told them. It's a secret. She'd die if they knew she liked David Bonicelli. Kelsey waited for Andrea to quit making faces. She desperately needed to talk to Andrea because she needed advice on planning the kissing contest. After all, Andrea was the one who'd gotten her into this whole mess in the first place. I'd rather eat lunch with you, Kelsey said. Then let's go. Andrea walked across the classroom and opened the outside door. The sun was shining. There was no sign of rain. Kelsey followed, unsure what to do. Well, I already told the others I'd eat with them. Andrea flipped her wild hair and went out the door, letting it slam in Kelsey's face. Feeling a mixture of exasperation and relief, Kelsey hurried into the cafeteria and joined the lunch line. Melissa, Brina, and Molly waved to her from their tables and pointed to an empty chair they'd saved just for her. It made Kelsey feel special. Well, half of her felt special. Her other half was trying not to think about the hurt look that had clouded Andrea's face right before she'd slammed the door. What about a ghost kissing contest? So let me set the scene. Is society's to blame? The Kremlin pops out of nowhere. Coming out. That's funny. Hi, Rachel. I tisk sigh when the occasion calls for it. Fair enough. Middle school, not my best days. Yeah, not anybody's best days. It's 5th grade. They're not even in middle school yet. My hair is such a mess today. Hi, Anton. Cringe with us. So for future reference, this is the main girl. This is Kelsey. And this is her best friend, Andrea. I'm not sure which of these other kids are which, but I know this one is Kelsey and this one is Andrea, based on the descriptions. Anyway. He is a druid, but don't tell her. You never know what kind of chaos is going to happen when you're not looking at chat. Oh, hush, your hair is fine. Talking to a dude. Messy, wavy hair when it's long. My brother just found out that he has curly hair because he finally let it grow long to like to shoulder length, and he's like, "This is how I find out that I have like really curly hair." I'm like, "Well, the rest of the family kind of does." So his hair is curlier than even mine. It's very intense. No, we shall not forget about St. Patrick. The boy in the blue striped shirt, David. I don't know. Maybe. I guess we'll have to wait to get a better description of David before we figure out which of these boys is David. When Kelsey got up Wednesday morning, rain was falling. She wondered if the Queen of the Lovadu people had anything to do with it. Since the gloomy weather matched her mood, Kelsey dressed in gray cords and a gray sweatshirt. The week was half over. She still didn't know what she was going to be for Halloween, or what she was going to do when Brina announced in the middle of the Halloween party that it was time for the kissing contest to begin. I will say, as much as this is very cringe, it is nice to get away from like the serious problems of the California Diaries and just read a book where like you have 5th grade problems. You know what I mean? Get waves from my grandmother. I'm not sure where we get our particular hair texture from. Mine is actually behaving. It's actually pretty straight. This is as straight as my hair gets. And I think it's just because it's too messy to really do much of anything else. But you can tell that like even the bangs want to curl. Oof, I messed it up now. Oh well. And Kelsey knew, as sure as Mr. Hale got his haircut every other Tuesday after school, that Brina would do it. She had a lot of thinking to do and only 2 days to do it. On the bus, Andrea sat in the last row by herself and stared out the window at the gusting rain. Molly told Kelsey she could squeeze in with her and Brina, so she did. Feels like Andrea needs some like Avril Lavigne music for this particular mood, but Avril Lavigne wasn't making music in 1990. Who was making music in 1990 that she could listen for this particular situation? Then the bus driver, Miss Matthews, hollered at Kelsey that 3 on a seat was against the rules. Kelsey had to sit next to Adam Aldridge because nobody else would. He burped the Oklahoma song all the way to school until Kelsey plugged her ears with her fingers. Ew. Mr. Hale greeted her at the classroom door. He was wearing blue slacks, a blue checkered shirt, and one blue tie. A blue tie. It wasn't like sometimes he wore more than one blue tie. Sorry. Every single Wednesday, Mr. Hale wore the same clothes. The 5th graders called Wednesday's Blue Day. Ms. Minor, he began, stopping her by pressing one finger to the top of her shoulder. I hear you have a surprise for the class Halloween party. Kelsey gasped. Had someone told the teacher about her kissing contest? Were they crazy? She thought Mr. Hale looked a little worried when she nodded. What should she say? How much did he know? Well, we leave plenty of time for your contest, is it? Kelsey nodded again. Okay, sir, thank you. Why couldn't he have said, I'm sorry, Miss Minor. We won't have time for your contest on Friday. Maybe some other time, like when you're in the 12th grade. No, when you're like 30. She glanced around the room. Brina and Molly were huddled in one corner giggling. Kelsey joined them now that they were almost her best friends. What's so funny? She asked. Andrea Geiss, Molly snickered. Just look at her. The sound of Molly snickering at Andrea made Kelsey heat up with anger. Her eyes darted to her best friend's desk. Andrea was wearing her gummy bear pajamas top as a shirt over pink sweatpants with flip-flops for shoes. On top of that, she wore her vampire cape from last year's Halloween costume. That sounds awesome. That sounds like her fit is fire. Bangs were spiked straight up in the air. The rest of her hair was caught in one bushy ponytail over her left ear, on which she had drawn 3 squiggly stars with red ink. Oh, on her ear. I was trying to picture how she could draw on her hair. I was very confused. And she was wearing purple framed glasses. Andrea never wore glasses. What was she doing? Kelsey glanced around the room. All the kids were making fun of Andrea, who had her nose in a book, ignoring everyone. It embarrassed Kelsey as much as if she were the one sitting there in her pajama top and all the other weird things Andrea was wearing. Actually, I think Andrea is my favorite character now. There was nothing Kelsey could do but take her seat. A sudden urge to protect her friend washed over her. Ripping a piece of paper from her notebook, she fished a pencil out of her desk to write Andrea a note. Dear Andrea, Kelsey paused. For the first time in her life, she had nothing to say to her best friend. Hi, she scribbled in her fancy handwriting. Then she wrote, your friend, Kelsey. Folding the paper, she walked to the pencil sharpener, dropping the note onto Andrea's desk as she passed. While Kelsey sharpened her pencil, her eyes stayed on Andrea, who read the note but didn't write back. Andrea always wrote back. When Kelsey returned to her desk, there were 3 notes addressed to her, stacked in a pile. She opened the one on top. It said, can't wait, Melissa. The second note said, until, Brina. The third note said, lunch, Molly. Cute, Kelsey groaned to herself. She knew why they couldn't wait till lunch. They couldn't wait till lunch because she and her big mouth had promised to announce a list of rules for the non-existent kissing contest. Yes, Andrea's her best friend. Green Day wasn't my special interest for years. Was my special interest for years. American Idiot is one of my favorite songs to play when I play Beat Saber. And yes, I play Beat Saber, and I'm not good at it, but I have a lot of fun. 90s album. Green Day. You're right. She should be listening to Green Day. 2000s band, and I'm like, didn't they form in like the 70s or 80s? Yes. Yes, they did. But there's different eras, I suppose. It's sort of like Santana. Somebody said to me, ugh, remember 2000s music like Santana? And I'm like, do you know how long Santana's been making music? That's my go-to music, predates 1990s. Even though I was born in 93. Hello, Sad Lump. Welcome. Oh, right. Hang on. Santana has always been an icon, I believe, since the dawn of... Yeah, Santana has been making music literally since the dawn of time. Hang on, I'm just gonna send a message really quick, guys. Just letting Daniel know that my video is all but ready to go out. Okay. Anyway, getting back to what I was doing. Cool. Santana played at Woodstock. If anyone wants an idea of how long ago they've been playing forever. No one ever hurts. Oh, your mom did that sweet. That is sweet. Not true. I know 2 couples still married. They're high school sweethearts. Yeah, I know high school sweethearts too. Sorry, we're all invalidating Texas right now. But yeah, I've known people who were high school sweethearts. Not helping them. Sorry. Can't lie. We're reading a very cursed book tonight, Lump, so... Not quite as cursed as, like, Model Land or anything, but, you know. What is... Oh, okay, so the teacher's reading them a book, but instead of telling us this, the chapter just starts with narrative from a completely different story. Little Hito hurried through the streets of Tokyo carrying a betara given to him by a street vendor. It was a large pickle dangling from a rope. It was part of Japanese October holiday to honor Ibisu, one of 7 gods of luck. I'm sorry, I probably pronounced all of that wrong. I apologize. Kids began to giggle at Mr. Hale's dramatic reading. Kelsey could hear Molly snickering all the way in the back row. After the story was finished, don't teach kids to laugh at other cultures. Kelsey tried to answer her workbook questions about the pickle on a rope tradition, but her eyes kept darting to the clock. Lunchtime was getting closer and closer. The 5th grade was about to discover the horrible truth about her. She didn't know the rules for the kissing contest any more than little Hito did. No. When Mr. Hale cleared off his desk to insert his contact lenses, Kelsey's heart began to thump. She knew the minute his contacts were in place, the lunch bell would ring. With Mr. Hale around, they didn't need a clock in the room. Kelsey took her time putting away her reading book. He could just figure this out and then just troll his students if he realized they were telling time off his contact lenses. Putting away her reading book. Maybe Andrea would invite her to eat outside again, then she could tell the others she couldn't sit with them today. They'd have to wait until later to find out the contest rules. Later, after she made them up. When lunch bell rang, Andrea flew outside without even looking at her. Kelsey's heart twinged with regret. Andrea deserves better. Now she should have to face the terrible trio. But maybe that would be less painful. Now she'd have to face the terrible trio, but maybe that would be less painful than walking across the playground next to her best friend. Where was I? While everyone pointed and laughed. Come on, come on, come on, urged Molly, pulling Kelsey from her desk. We have to get seats together today so we can all hear your rules. Kelsey trudged down the hallway after her. 3 new friends wondering why being popular left such a troubled knot in the pit of her stomach. Today's lunch was burgers and chips with green dill pickle on the side. 5th graders got into trouble because half the class was playing with the pickle, pretending they were bataras dangling from ropes. Don't disrespect people. Ms. McFarland, who was on lunch duty this week, had no idea what was going on. Melissa munched on a potato chip, opening a notebook she'd brought into the cafeteria. Brina lent Melissa a pencil, then all 3 of them leaned towards Kelsey. Fun fact, I didn't have a cafeteria because I was homeschooled, obviously, so whenever a book talks about a cafeteria, I think about the cafeteria that I had to sit in for literally 12 hours when I was an extra on season 1 of Cobra Kai. And that makes me anxious to think about. Not that Cobra Kai was fun, but sitting in a cafeteria for 12 hours, no one can really make that fun. Brina lent a pencil. All 3 of them leaned towards Kelsey. We're ready, Brina said. Kelsey choked on her burger. Come on, come on, come on. Molly was starting to get on her nerves. What should she do? Confess right here and now that there wasn't any rules for a kissing contest? There weren't any rules for the kissing what should she do? Confess right here and now that there weren't any rules for the kissing contest? And the reason there weren't any rules was because there wasn't any contest? On the other hand, Kelsey liked the way 3 most popular girls in class had been paying attention to her all week. Maybe she could stall them and save face. The interview with her mom and dad flashed through her mind. Oh no, oh no, oh no, but she'd be brilliant. But she'd brilliantly left the list of rules she'd gotten from her parents back in the classroom. Could she remember them all? Oh no, oh no, oh no. Quit stalling, Brina ordered. Okay, I'm ready. Kelsey closed her eyes to think, trying to picture a page from her notebook in her mind. When she opened her eyes, a half dozen or more kids had joined the table. Rule number 1, Kelsey began. No. The small crowd seemed to hold its breath, waiting for her to continue. Don't start until the whistle blows. Melissa jotted down the first rule while Molly repeated it slowly. Don't start until the whistle blows. Hush, Molly, Brina scolded. Let Kelsey talk. Number 2, Kelsey continued. Don't hold your breath. Oh no. All mumbled their agreement. Oh no, oh no. 3, Kelsey was beginning to feel like Mr. Hale giving the Friday spelling test. Give it all you've got. Oh no. Embarrassed laughter tittered through ever-growing group around the table. 4, train hard for the event. Fantastic, whispered Molly. 5, eat spaghetti the night before. Oh no. What? Adam Aldridge made his presence known. Shush, said Brina. She knows what she's talking about. Yes, she knows, guys. She's the expert. Kelsey had never received so much attention in her whole life. Except for the time in 2nd grade when she got sick all over Mrs. Ship's desk after eating too much Valentine candy. Ugh. More kids joined the table. Kelsey's palms began to sweat from speaking before such a large audience. She avoided looking to her left because that's where David Bonicelli leaned against the table on his elbows. If she looked at him, she knew she'd heat up until she melted into a puddle. A Kelsey puddle. Ugh. Is that all? Molly asked. No, there's more. Kelsey squinted at the ceiling, trying to remember the rest of the rules. Number 6, keep drinking water, Adam snickered. And number 7, whatever you do, don't stop until you're finished. Oh no. Oh no. It was so quiet everyone could hear Melissa's pencil scribbling across the page. Fantastic, Molly whispered again, looking over Melissa's shoulder. Can I copy the rules from you? Me too, came scattered voices from around the table. What's going on here? Mrs. McFarland leaned over the mass of 5th grade bodies, trying to see what was holding their attention. Let's hustle outside. She clapped her hands a few times as everyone grabbed at Melissa's precious list. Melissa sat on her notebook to keep snatching hands away from it. My father has a copy machine, she told them. Tomorrow I'll bring enough copies for everyone. Can you imagine if this is what your 10-year-old is bringing to class? Oh my god. Kissing contest rules. Kelsey was forgotten as the group rushed toward the playground door, huddled around Melissa and her list of useless rules as if she were a queen bee. After taking one bite of the pickle, Kelsey dumped her barely eaten lunch and went outside. She spotted Andrea alone, hanging upside down off the top of the monkey bars. Her vampire cape tickled the ground in the chilly fall breeze. It said tickled the ground. I didn't know you could tickle a ground, but all right. Andrea could hang upside down longer than anyone. She said it was good for her hair. Probably not good for your brain. Kelsey had tried it, but it always killed the backs of her knees after 2 seconds. The afternoon bell rang. Still Kelsey headed towards Andrea, weaving her way through the kids, rushing to line up. After all, Andrea was her best friend, and they'd barely talked the last 3 days. This week's traumas would be much easier to bear if she could share them with Andrea. Molly caught Kelsey by the sleeve, flipping her around. I'm so glad you're not friends with Andrea Geese anymore, she said in a loud voice. That girl is weird. Kelsey let herself be pulled along with the crowd. Kelsey! Back towards the school building. She'd sighed, mentally pinching herself for being disloyal to her best friend. Wait until tomorrow, Kelsey told herself. Andrea will be back to normal. You can make up with her then. Ugh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm cringing so much. Yes, sad lump. Cringing so much. Why are we yelling? I don't know. Who wrote this book? Dion Curtis Reagan, I think is how she says her name, but I could be wrong. Questions is what I'm saying. I just have questions. Not the precious list. Vampire cape? Oh yeah, Andrea wears a vampire cape. We love Andrea, or at least I do. Andrea needs better friends, and also I think the book should be about Andrea, because this is stressing me out. OMG, I loved Cobra Kai. My mom loved Cobra Kai. I have to tell her this. I had a lot of fun. Both the main dudes, Ralph Macchio, and I'm blanking on the other guy's name. The guy that plays the blonde main guy. Both of them super sweet. Super sweeties. Big dad energy. Boyfriend sent me printed in a box under my bed. Oh, Adriel. Girl might be getting set up by the popular girls. That if the adults find out about the contest, she would be the one in trouble. Yeah, probably. My boyfriend got me my favorite flowers. Oh, cute. Um, a little long-going joke with my children. Oh, that's funny. Recently got married. They started dating after high school, though. Oh, cute. I occasionally see my high school crush shopping at the store I work at. She never speaks to me, though. Oh, I'm sorry. God, make this book stop. I'm so sorry. Got your Discord message. Just finished putting everything back. My mom sold all her arrangements. Yay! Should have everything rendered and up by the time you finish your stream. Feel free to just let yours go up. I'm gonna set mine up to go up when this is over, so that way you don't have to wait on me if you're still listening, Daniel. We have Phantom Investigator videos, everybody. Who wrote this book? It was a choice. Someone who's never been 10. Skipped from years 9 to 11. No, his name is David Botticelli. It's cringe. I started yelling because I hate the book. We all kind of hate this book. This book is a lot. Distracted and pulled away. And then I forgot what I was watching this. It's been a rough couple days. I'm sorry it's been a rough couple days, Milo. I hope tomorrow is better. I could not convene our discomfort with inside voices. I'm so sorry. That's valid. I hope it gets better. I don't think the book ends with a lesson about I hope this book ends with a lesson. Yes, that's the only I really, really just want kids to stop talking about kissing each other. I would very much like that. I am uncomfortable. I just want to get to the Babysitters Club, man. This book is short. We're almost done with it. I don't know if you can see. Well, we've got like 30 more pages, I think. Not many. Been working at a candy store at Valentine's Day, so it's kind of busy. Oh, I'm sorry. The last line will be, and then everyone clapped. Enough secondhand embarrassment for me. Good night, Anton. Save yourself. After lunch, Kelsey got permission to go to the library. She set her notebook on a table by the back window where she could have some privacy. Running her finger along a set of encyclopedias, she pulled out the K volumes, oh no, and carried it to the table. She checked to her left and right to make sure no one was watching. Then she flipped through the pages, searching for the word kiss. She would die if anyone peeked over her shoulder and caught her looking up Kiss in the encyclopedia. And then she became a fan of the heavy rock band Kiss. It wasn't there. Terrific. How was she supposed to find ideas for her kissing contest if Kiss wasn't even in the encyclopedia? Kelsey let the book fall shut with a loud smack, glancing up to see if the librarian had heard. He was busy helping a third grader reach a high shelf. She moved to the computer, hunting for the K on the keyboard. There it was. K, she typed. She doesn't even know how to type on a keyboard yet, guys. She's too young for this. Right above it was the I. Then it took her half a minute to find the S. She hit it twice. The computer churned for a few seconds, then flashed no entry. What are you doing? Came a voice from behind her. Kelsey jumped. It was David Botticelli. Nothing. Her fingers turned into long ice cubes, refusing to fly across the keys, typing anything that would wipe the word kiss off the screen. Kelsey hunched her shoulders over the computer, trying to block David's view. She picked out the letters to the word Japan, so she was just so he'd think she was just doing her reading homework. He moved to the computer next to her. Now what was she going to do? She'd planned on typing different versions of Kiss until the computer took the bait and gave her the information she needed. But she couldn't stand there with David Botticelli peering over her shoulder and type words like smack, peck, or smooch. He'd think she was a pervert. Oh no. What else could kissing be called? An art? A sport? A custom? Custom sounded good. Kelsey deleted the word Japan and then picked out the letters C-U-S-T-O-M. Remembering how to spell the word was difficult with David standing so near. At least she dropped his last name. She watched him out of the corner of her eye, wondering if he were watching her out of the corner of his. The computer made more churning noises, then flashed a long list of books on social customs. Aha! Kelsey felt pleased. It was a start, and it looked as if she were actually working on a real school project. She copied the information, then blanked the screen. Kelsey wished she could keep standing next to David Botticelli for the rest of the school year. We're back to the last name. But she had important work to do. She gathered her things, then moved to the notification shelf. Non-fiction shelf. Thank you, brain. Notification shelf. Choosing several books, she returned to her table and spent the rest of the library time reading more than she ever wanted to know about the custom of kissing, copying bits and pieces of information into her notebook. And she looked through the text. One of the references caught her eye. Kissing games, it said, page 139. Feeling excited, Kelsey flipped to the right page. The book explained the rules of the game called Spin the Bottle, Post Office, Flashlight, and Secret Draw. I never played Spin the Bottle. I was explicitly told by my mother that if I was ever at a party and someone wanted me to play Spin the Bottle, that I should just say no. Kelsey felt herself blushing as she read the rules. Mr. Hale would die if she announced games like these at the Halloween party. She would die first of embarrassment. A kissing game was not the same thing as a kissing contest. Kelsey kept turning pages. Secretly, she hoped to find an obscure listing buried deep in the middle of one of the reference books that said kissing contests. In ancient times, young people competed in a contest for kissing, and the rules were then all she'd have to do was borrow someone else's competition. Unfortunately, no one in the course of history had ever invented such a thing. It was all up to her. Dial-up didn't help us, so it must have never been invented before. Kelsey opened another book of customs and stared at a picture of the man who invented cornflakes, John Kellogg. Pretended she was looking at her own picture in the book of world-famous inventor. That feels like a way too on-the-nose thing to be talking about as inventor. You know why cornflakes were invented? God. I'm uncomfortable. Kelsey opened another book. The idea of going down in history intrigued her, but is that what she wanted to be famous for? Inventing a kissing contest? Would it humiliate her parents? We'd like you to meet our daughter, Pastor. She's in all the history books, but we can't tell you what she invented. Yes, the pastor does not condone kissing. Not even after you're married. The recess bell interrupted Kelsey's daydream. Gathering her things, she returned to class, wishing John Kellogg had taken time to invent a kissing contest right after he'd invented cornflakes. Again, I don't want to talk about John Kellogg anymore. Lump, no, we don't want to know that. Your mom is a smart woman. She is a smart woman. What text is she reading? She's reading... I don't even know. No, she's reading from the computer? I don't know. This is just as cringy as watching some episodes of Home Improvement. Oh god, this is cringe. This is hardcore cringe. This is not like Model Land cringe, but this is pretty cringe. I was telling my brother about Model Land, side note, and he was like, you need to do like a deep dive video essay about how absolutely unhinged that book is. Because I was telling him about it, just like the highlights, and he was like losing his mind. He was like, what? Anton ran to the emergency exit. Do we blame him, though? Oh, thank all that is good for short, terrible books for kids. The idea of using encyclopedias is so funny. I know. I was like, I'm just old enough to remember us using an encyclopedia, but I didn't use it past like the first grade. It's just a photo of Gene Simmons. That's what I was picturing too, Rachel. I'm leaning way too close to camera, sorry. I specifically taught my class how to use encyclopedias in elementary school because it was an important skill to have, and then immediately people stopped using physical encyclopedias. I remember when I tested out of high school, right? So this is my graduation, was it like the SCATs? What would have been my what would have been my test out for the entirety of my, like, to get my high school diploma? Whatever that was, I guess it was the CATS 5. So CATS 5 test, this is 2015, right? So I'm testing out of high school in 2015, and there's a whole section on how to use the card catalog at the library. And I was like, how? How has nobody said, let's just change this out for something that they would actually know or need to know? Our walls with only a paragraph of information. Our town was that small, and our encyclopedias on the libraries were from the 70s. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was like a bad slice of life show from the 50s. That's what I was gonna say. This feels like a bad pitch for like a Leave It to Beaver episode. My kids are doing dumber stuff than playing spin the bottle. Range is outgoing enough to make a spectacle of themselves playing spin the bottle. True, we've all got anxiety, and sometimes that anxiety comes in a little bit clutch for us in situations like this, I guess. Oh no, not that game. They are way too young. Cringing so hard. I do, and don't Google it. Oh god. Oh no, 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 no. Not 7 Minutes in Heaven. So young. They're so young and innocent. No. Staple for high school AU fanfiction. Yes. High school, but not 10-year-olds. Oh god, I have a flashback. I'm so sorry, Natty. I didn't mean to give you a flashback. And graham crackers, yep. Okay. Honesty time. I thought narwhals were mythical until like middle school. I thought they were completely made up. I also thought puffins were made up. Just did. Sorry. I thought they were until I told them. Oh. You don't need to know, sad lump. Mom was like 37. They do feel like unicorns of the sea. That's why everybody thinks it's made up. I still don't understand what's supposed to take place. We don't need to talk. It's fine. We don't need to go down that route. Reindeer weren't real. I'm sorry. To be fair, by the time I was like 10 years old, I figured out that puffins were real. Grandma learned it's real until like 2 months ago. Oh. No one saw 13 going on 30. I did, but I don't remember it. Narwhals just feel mythical. They're basically unicorns, but they can swim, which feels even more mythical than unicorns. Chapter 10. Kelsey, I've called you 3 times and you haven't answered me. Kelsey felt a whoosh of air as a pillow was lifted off her head. She opened her eyes, focusing them on her mom's worried frown. Are you feeling all right? Mrs. Miner asked, cupping one palm across Kelsey's forehead. Yes, I mean no. I mean yes. Kelsey knew better than to fake being sick. Each time she tried, it backfired. She'd end up getting sick for real for a few days. A few days later, when there was something special she wanted to do. Karma. Her mom opened the window curtains. Sunlight flooded from the room, Depressing Kelsey. In the back of her mind, she'd hoped there'd be a raging blizzard outside, canceling school for the rest of the week. In October? In Oklahoma? Do you guys get that much snow in Oklahoma? The month. The year. Get up or you'll be late for the bus. Kelsey groaned. Today was Thursday, which meant tomorrow was Friday. She had only... Now everybody sing with me. Tomorrow is Saturday, and Sunday comes afterwards. She had only one more day before the 5th grade discovered she was a fraud. By tomorrow, her reputation would be in smithereens. She'd be an outcast forever. Maybe she could borrow a jar of pickles from the refrigerator and some rope from the garage and then move to Tokyo and make her living selling bataras on street corners. What are you going to be for Halloween? Kelsey's mom said, asking the now dreaded question from the doorway. I don't know. Kelsey, tomorrow is the big day. When are you planning to get your Halloween costume together? In December? Kelsey pulled herself from under the bed covers. I don't know. Her bare feet smacked the floor as if to punctuate her words. Her mom sighed. We go through this every year, she said to the ceiling as she closed the door. Kelsey was so slow showering and dressing, she didn't have time to sit down for breakfast. When her mother wasn't looking, she snitched a handful of Halloween candy her dad had set out early. It should keep her from starving to death before lunchtime. Kelsey dumped the handful of chocolate candy into her book bag, then grabbed more for her pocket. When the school bus arrived at the corner, she climbed on board. Brina and Molly were sitting together as usual, and Melissa was sitting with her. Was sitting with her 3rd grade cousin. The only kids sitting by themselves were Adam Aldridge and Andrea. Make up your mind, Miss Matthews said, tapping Kelsey's shoulder. I can't take off until you're seated. Adam grinned at her and burped. Hello, Kelsey Minor. Kelsey stepped past him to the back of the bus, sliding into the seat next to Andrea. Hi, she began, then gasped as Andrea faced her. Andrea had drawn a rainbow on her left cheek. Each stripe was a different color of ink. That would make it a rainbow. Surrounding it were tiny stars. On Andrea's right cheek, in green ink, were her initials, A-U-G. Andrea Ursula Geis. What a great name. Today, she wore her pajama bottoms, which were really sweatpants, decorated with tiny gummy bears. On top was a Batman t-shirt, which matched her Batman tennis shoes. On each wrist was every bracelet Andrea owned, including 3 Kelsey had given her. Andrea gazed as if she were a stranger. She didn't return Kelsey's hello. Why? Was all Kelsey could think to ask. Why do you think, Kelsey? Why what? Why are you wearing your pajama bottoms to school? Oh, I thought she meant, like, why are we not talking? To which the answer is, because you've been kind of horrible. Shush! Andrew's wild hair, worn loose today, whipped one way and then the other as she looked to see if kids were watching them. They were, but not because of anything Kelsey had said. Excuse me, sorry. These aren't pajama bottoms. Yes, they are. You had the top on yesterday, and you wore them to bed when I spent the night with you 2 weeks ago. Andrea reached to arrange her bangs, still spiked up towards heaven. All the bracelets on her wrists jingled together. These are not pajamas. It's a jogging set, she explained. Sometimes I wear it to bed. Kelsey was trying to ignore the disapproving looks coming her way from Melissa, Brina, and Molly. She hoped all 3 of them got cricks in their necks from cramming to get a good look at her. Her conversation with Andrea was going nowhere. I don't care if they're pajamas or not. Just tell me why you're doing this. Doing what? Dressing weird. Andrea looked down at her clothes as if she didn't know what Kelsey was talking about. And yesterday, too. Why did you wear your vampire cape to school? For Halloween. Halloween isn't until tomorrow. I like to celebrate all week long. That's fair. Andrea flipped her eyelashes up and down and jingled her bracelets. I call it Halloweek. Kelsey groaned. Maybe she should change the subject. Do you want me to eat lunch with you outside today? She knew once they got to school, the other kids saw what Andrea was wearing, it'll be all over for her friend. The 5th grade might forgive Andrea's weirdness for one day, but not for a whole week. They'll move on. A Halloweek. Why do you want to eat lunch with me? Kelsey had asked herself the same question. Andrea was her best friend in the whole world, and after the Halloween party tomorrow, Kelsey planned to be real short on friends, best or otherwise. In spite of Andrea's peculiar ways, Kelsey still felt loyal. You're my best friend, she said, as if that explained everything. Ha! Andrea blurted a bit too loudly, drawing more stares. The school bus ground to a stop. Andrea climbed over Kelsey before she could move out of the way, then pointed a bony finger at her in the same way Batman was pointing at her from the front of Andrea's t-shirt. You've got 3 too many best friends. With that, Andrea sprinted down the aisle, hurrying to be the first off the bus. By the time the bell rang and all the 5th graders were settled in, everyone was buzzing about 2 things. Andrea, who was now called Og because of the green ink initials on her cheek, and the rules for tomorrow's kissing contest. Melissa had made enough copies of Kelsey's list so no one in class had to share the rules, and she'd run the copies on bright pink paper, the same color as Pepto-Bismol. Kelsey slumped to her desk everywhere. Everywhere she looked, kids had their eyeballs glued to the pink papers. Molly flitted around the room, passing out the last of them. She flipped one onto Kelsey's desk, then snatched it up again before Kelsey could move to touch it. Whoops, Molly gushed. I guess you don't need a list because you're the one who made up the fantastic rules. Kelsey buried her head in her folded arms. Her stomach was in such turmoil right now, not even a giant dose of real Pepto-Bismol could save her. Nice Pepto-Bismol ad, I guess. Owl. Your internet mothers say no. Also about 13 when I saw 13 going on 30. Obsessed with narwhals. Thank you for looking out for our under 18 friends in chat, guys. We love you. We stand the mom and dad and non-binary parental figure friends. Freddy Fish and the Case of the Missing Conch Shell. I've never heard of that before. Have you ever listened to Rebecca Black's song Saturday? I have not. I heard that it exists, though. I love her. I'm glad that she's doing well. My heart broke when I saw the video that she did about the whole Friday experience for her. Someone who is in theater club, beware. Well, I missed something in chat, but I see that Natty is threatening to make people disappear. Hey, who are we disappearing? No one yet. Okay. You'd stand by your friend, right? Andrew deserves better. Rachel really said we could conquer the FBI. Why? Because of the book? No, the book is just cringy. The book is cringy. It's just, we wanted to know how cringy this book was, and we know. We don't know, we aren't done with it, but we're almost done. And a week is for amateurs, but she's only 10. Yeah, she'll work her way up to Halloween all year round. You in elementary school, I was a bit like her as a kid. It's making me want to cry a little. Oh, I'm sorry, DK. Andrea deserves better, and all kids like Andrea deserve better. tell because he mentioned the red pill. That's funny. Friend who drank Pepto? Ooh. Like, oh god. And I was like, thank god. Yeah. A point and click adventure for small children. Got a cereal box. Is it like, I'm picturing like, Pajama Sam, Thunder and Lightning aren't so frightening. Anyone else remember Word Munch? That sounds very familiar. Hi, David Smith. What's serial number? Hey, Kellen. Pretty sure same company as Pajama Sam. Okay. Same company. Okay, cool. My brother loved Pajama Sam and has made me promise to one day play it on stream or do a video about it. Go do your homework. You can't skip on homework to be here. Please, I'll feel so guilty. My brother loved Pajama Sam. Okay, continuing on. We are almost done with this book, and it's almost 10:30. I'm glad I paired it with another book. Kelsey scrunched the stack of notes on top of her desk into a ball. Trudging to the waste paper basket, she threw them away. When she returned to her desk, 4 more notes were piled there. Dear Kelsey, I have a question about the rules for the kissing contest. How can I keep drinking water if I'm not supposed to stop until I'm finished? Oh dear. Dear Kelsey, I hate spaghetti. Do I really have to eat it tonight? Molly. This was the first one was from Brina, the second one's from Molly. Second one's from Molly again with a smiley face. Dear Kelsey, want to borrow my whistle for tomorrow's contest? Dear Kelsey, I told my dad about your list of rules for the kissing contest. He's calling Mr. Hale this morning, Adam Aldridge. Oh boy. It's funny. Kelsey sighed. In the old days, BC, before the contest, she loved getting notes, but no one had ever sent them to her except Andrea. Today, they were plopping onto her desk like raindrops from a spring cloudburst. What was wrong with Mr. Hale? Why didn't he catch kids passing notes to her? Why didn't he suspend her from school for a few days? That would solve a problem or two. I mean, he's about to get a very interesting phone call, so stay tuned, I guess. Kelsey twisted in her desk to see what Mr. Hale was doing. He was leaning against the water fountain in the back of the room, not paying attention to her or anyone else. His attention was riveted by the Pepto-Bismol paper clenched in his hands. Uh-oh, Molly had given the teacher a list of the kissing contest rules. Terrific, Kelsey mumbled. Terrific, Kelsey mumbled. That's better. Shoving the notes into her desk, she grabbed her reading book and opened to today's story. At times like this, it was best to act like a model student. Kelsey waited for Mr. Hale to press his fingers into the top of her shoulder, but he didn't. He seemed unusually quiet today, calling reading groups in as he normally did. He's like, I'm not getting paid enough for this. I'm very stressed. Poor Mr. Hale. Yet every time Kelsey looked at him, he was watching her. Mr. Hale was probably waiting for her to do something weird. Maybe he suspected a little of Andrea's weirdness had rubbed off on her, since the two had been best friends forever. Kelsey moved a chair to her reading group, thankful for a break from the raining notes. Today's October holiday story was about a celebration in India called Pushkar Fair. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. The Hindus believed their creator had formed a huge lake at Pushkar by dropping a lotus petal from above. This month, thousands of pilgrims gathered by the lake to celebrate. The highlight of the fair was the camel rush. Competitors ran as fast as they could, then jumped onto sturdy camels to see how many people would fit without falling off. As Melissa read the story out loud, Kelsey watched Mr. Hale. When he wasn't watching her, he didn't act surprised at the strange camel rush tradition at all. So how could Mr. Hale think she was weird by staging a kissing contest? Weird was jumping onto a camel to see how many people it would hold. No, the kissing contest is weirder. It's weirder. Doing it just listening. Okay. Pajama Sam games. You are what you eat, from your head to your feet. My brother has played all of them, I'm pretty sure. Devil inside of his own body. It's interesting. I'll have to do streams where I play those games at some point. Make sure, yeah, take breaks, drink water, do all the things. Really is a Leave It to Beaver story in the cringiest way, right? It's cringe. It's been staring at me from one of the cupboards where I keep some of my books in the collection. And I've just had this horrible curiosity. I'm like, I'm taking all of chat with me when I have to read this one. Camel Rush would be a good band name. It would be. Would it be better to teach kids about Diwali? Is that more seasonal? I don't know. I think they're just reading through a whole book of like different celebrations around the world. But yeah, Diwali, isn't Diwali like one of the bigger holidays in Indian culture? Husband went to bed. Oh. Jumped off the bus and dashed. This is chapter 12, by the way, if anybody's counting. Kelsey jumped off the bus and dashed down the street to her house. Maybe if she got away fast enough, no one else would ask her about the kissing contest. Kids were starting to sound like her grandmother's parakeet, asking the same questions over and over again. I always said that if I got a parrot, the first thing I'd teach it to say was, "Help, I've been turned into a parrot," and I've always thought that was very funny. I'm sorry. I'll continue reading. Only they weren't saying, "Do you want a treat? Do you want a treat?" They were saying things like, "What time is the kissing contest? Who gets to go first? And what is the winner's prize?" Kelsey arrived out of breath at her house, unlocked the front door, and slipped inside. Her mother had a late class on Thursday afternoon, so Kelsey always beat her home. Dumping her books on the desk in her room, Kelsey shut the door, kicked off her shoes, and flopped onto the bed next to Groucho. She buried herself under a quilt to block out the questions, still tumbling through her mind. Only now the questions were, "How did you get yourself into such a terrible mess, Kelsey? Minor, do you know how unpopular you'll be tomorrow after everyone finds out you made this whole thing up? And why have you deserted your best friend for new friends you don't even like?" As Kelsey grew sleepy, the question faded from her mind, but they were replaced with new questions, bits and pieces of what she'd learned at the library yesterday. How did the custom of kissing begin? Why does the groom kiss the bride at the end of the wedding ceremony? Why do movie stars pretend to kiss in greeting, but don't? Does she mean just kissing on the cheek or air kissing? That's more of a European custom, I think. Kelsey snuggled further under the quilt. The only thing she'd accomplished all week was to learn more facts about kissing than anyone else in the 5th grade. Now she was a kissing expert. A kissing expert who had never been kissed. She chuckled to herself. Then her chuckle turned into a groan. All the kissing trivia in the world wasn't going to save her tomorrow. Suddenly, Kelsey's eyes shot open. She bolted upright, flinging the quilt aside. Groucho yowled and sprang away. "Oh no, not Groucho." "That's it," she cried, hopping from the bed and fumbling through her notebook. 1, 2, 3, 4. She counted out loud. 4 pages of trivia about kissing. Kelsey danced around the room, her stocking feet holding the notebook above her head like a trophy. The 5th graders loved trivia. Any kind of trivia. Tomorrow she would give them a kissing contest after all. A kissing trivia contest. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Sorting through her desk drawers, she found a package of lined note cards. For the next 2 hours, Kelsey made up kissing questions, penning them neatly on each card in her fancy handwriting. Why did Prince Charming kiss Sleeping Beauty? Kelsey paused, holding her pencil in midair. Was that question too easy? Nope, she said to herself. She needed a few easy questions for kids like Adam Aldridge, who could never remember what cupboard held the math workbooks and which cupboard held the hamster food. Under the question, she wrote, "To wake Sleeping Beauty from 100-year sleep." Nibbling on Halloween candy, Kelsey chose another card. How can you sign a love letter with a kiss? Answer, sign it with an X. Please, she popped a Hershey's Kiss into her mouth. Ha ha! She grabbed another card, writing, "What is printed on the streamer coming from the top of a Hershey's Kiss?" Let's say, Just Hershey's Kisses. Hershey's Kisses. Answer. Hershey's Kisses. What are you doing? Came her mom's voice from the hallway. The door opened. Homework? Mrs. Miner asked, looking pleased to catch her daughter working without having to be told. Sort of, Kelsey answered, shoving her math book on top of the cards before her mom could read any of them. Time to eat, Kelsey's mother said. Then after dinner, we'll have to whip you up some kind of a Halloween costume for tomorrow. Her mom gave her the same look she did whenever Kelsey asked her to bake brownies for school treats late on the night before they were needed. You have decided what you're going to be for Halloween, haven't you? Sure, Kelsey lied as her mom disappeared down the hall. She'd been so caught up with trivia questions for the kissing contest she'd forgotten all about putting a costume together. Kelsey gathered the note cards and placed them in her book bag for tomorrow. Then she scrunched leftover foil from the Hershey's Kisses into a silver ball, tossing it into the trash can. Hershey's Kisses, she whispered to herself, suddenly connecting the name of the candy to what she'd been nibbling. It gave her a wonderful idea. Kelsey reached into her pocket and pulled out another piece of the silver teardrop candy. She sat it on her notebook, hunching over to study it. Kelsey, you're a genius, she whispered to her. Not only will I show up tomorrow at the Halloween party with a genuine kissing contest, I'll also show up with a genuine kiss. Kel, come to dinner, her dad called. Coming. Quickly, she scribbled new trivia questions onto a note card. Who invented the kissing contest to go to the Halloween? What did the inventor of the kissing contest go to the Halloween party as? Answer, a Hershey's Kiss. You just found this book on the bookshelf? Wait, this one? Wait, I have questions. Been abandoned. You do have us, Texas. Quiet in my house, which is never a good thing. I have no idea why they're obsessed, because they're 10, I guess. 10-year-olds get obsessed easily with things. Big kiss hello thing. She's French and lives in France. Aww. Question test is a far better idea. This is a way better idea. There we go. Dog realized husband went to bed. Got into the trash. Silence is never good. Feel like cupboard contents and kissing trivia are unrelated. They are. They're unrelated. All right. Kelsey and her parents were up half the night assembling her Halloween costume. Searching the corner of the basement where her dad stored leftover boxes from Christmas, Kelsey chose the biggest one. She cut a huge circle out of the bottom of the box. Then she cut 2 holes for her legs. Kelsey's mom helped her unravel and straighten a pile of coat hangers, then punch one end of them through the cardboard. They fashioned a teardrop frame with it and hangers, leaving teardrop frame with the hangers, leaving an opening fastened with a hook at the top so Kelsey could get into the costume. Kelsey found a few rolls of heavy aluminum foil stashed away with the barbecue supplies, and while her mom bent 2 more wire hangers around the bottom of the cardboard to anchor the foil, Kelsey's dad volunteered to help so they could all get to bed at a decent hour. The long part of the project was fastening thin material around the teardrop frame before covering it with silver foil. They almost forgot to leave armholes. While her parents smoothed foil over the frame, Kelsey ironed one of her white ribbons to use as the streamer from the top of the kiss. In blue marker, she lettered the words Hershey's Kisses over and over until she ran out of ribbon. The last thing Kelsey did before going to bed was to dig out her gray tights so her legs would somewhat match the silver foil. Then she put her costume in a huge lawn and leaf bag so she could carry it on the bus without kids seeing what it was. She wanted it to be a surprise when everyone changed into their costumes during lunch. Go to bed, Kelsey's mom said when they finished. Kelsey was happy to obey. And next year, her mom added, decide what you're going to be for Halloween in August, because that's when we're making your costume. Kelsey woke with a start, feeling as if she'd taken a roller coaster ride instead of sleeping. Oh, I hate that feeling. Troubled dreams had tossed and turned her throughout the night, forcing Groucho to sleep on top of her desk instead of cuddled by her side. Why was she troubled? Today was Halloween. She had a costume to wear, a costume she really liked, and she finally invented a real kissing contest. She wasn't going to let the 5th grade down after all. She'd still be popular, and then she'd win back her best friend. So why did she feel so scared? Because you're tricking them, Kelsey. The entire 5th grade is hoping to be kissed today, expecting to be kissed today by someone, anyone, except Adam Aldridge. Hermione argued back. He didn't want to kiss anyone, and no one wanted to kiss him. But Kelsey, no one gets kissed at all during your so-called kissing contest. Everyone is probably using gallons of mouthwash this morning, just in case. Kelsey sat up in bed to plead with Groucho, but I did the best I could. Groucho didn't seem to care enough to open his eyes and look at her. I mean, the whole idea of kissing during a kissing contest is ridiculous, Groucho, because no one in the 5th grade even knows how to kiss. Except maybe Melissa, she added, remembering last year's rumor that Melissa had kissed a 6th grade boy from the middle school with a bicycle rack. But that doesn't count, Kelsey. They're still going to be disappointed and angry with you for deceiving them. But Groucho, if we actually kissed, who would win the kissing contest? The fastest kisser? The funniest kisser? The best kisser? Groucho answered with a flick of his white speckled tail. And how am I supposed to judge the contest if we really kiss, like a race, a relay team competition, an endurance event? Groucho sprang off the bed. Even he thought Kelsey's argument was silly. And if I'm the judge, Kelsey called after him as he pawed at the door to get out of her room, wouldn't that mean I have to kiss all the boys? Groucho must be friends with Perry. They must know each other. The thought of kissing David Bonicelli was like flying to the top of the seesaw on the playground. The thought of kissing Adam Aldridge was like coming down hard against the ground. Kelsey got out of bed to open the door for Groucho. And how would I pick the girl winner? She called after him as he strutted down the hallway. Am I supposed to kiss the girls too? I mean, maybe one day when you're older, you'll find out that you like kissing girls. That's fine. What in the world are you talking about? Came her mom's voice from another room. Embarrassed at being overheard, Kelsey shut the bedroom door and fell backwards onto her bed. I haven't solved my problems at all, she said to the light fixture. When the 5th grade finds out no one is getting kissed today, I'm going to be as popular as a pickle on a rope in the middle of Oklahoma. The little dude looks so scared. I love it. Aw, Ollie. Eagle has been imprisoned. I should probably head to bed. Good night, Texas. We are so close to the end of this book. We are. Feel free to stick around. Awesome. So feel free to go to bed. You know the VOD will be here if you want to go to bed. My sister, she went to America. Aw, that's really funny. That's a weird coincidence. I didn't know this book existed until it showed up in the P.O. box. From Patrick. All right, almost done. Why must it be cringy again? Who knows? I get back to VOD 3 weeks later, LOL. Fair enough. That's also how I interact with live streams. I've been following Emily D. Baker's coverage of the Alec Murdaugh murders. Love her. But I'm a few days behind on the stream, so I've just been, like, binging them, like, as I go to bed at night, and then as I'm, like, editing throughout the day, and I'm, like, getting a little bit more caught up, but it's everyday coverage, so, like... Assist BTW. Finish my homework. Yay for finishing homework. Chapter 14. Kelsey maneuvered the green bag containing her Halloween costume down the center aisle of the bus. Hi, Kelsey came from every seat she passed. Smiling eyes followed her every move. Determined to make Andrea forgive her wishy-washiness this week, Kelsey took the empty seat next to her, pulling the huge bag onto her lap. Andrea was dressed normal today, in blue jeans and a red university of Oklahoma sweatshirt, and her hair was not quite as wild as it had been all week. She ignored Kelsey. Earphones plugged each ear. Her foot tapped, her fingers snapped, and her head bobbed to the silent music. Kelsey left her alone, letting her get into her role as a rock star for this afternoon's Halloween party. When they arrived at school, Kelsey stumbled off the bus, hoping she hadn't bent the frame of her costume. Can I help you carry that? It was David Bonicelli. Sure, Kelsey replied, handing him the bag while fumbling with her books. What's in here? David asked, slinging the bag over one shoulder like Santa Claus. She looked at him in the eye. What was she supposed to say? I just gave you a giant kiss? It's my Halloween costume for the party this afternoon, she answered instead. What are you going to be? It's a surprise, she said. What are you going to be? It's a surprise, he replied, mimicking her. Kelsey laughed with him. She and David Bonicelli had just had a real conversation. Yay! Mr. Hale's morning rituals were rushed today. Kelsey figured he was hurrying so that the fifth graders wouldn't miss any of his wonderful teaching because of the party. At least it was a break from the daily boring sameness. Plus, today, Mr. Hale's hair was tinted orange, probably to go with whatever costume he planned to wear that afternoon. It was a nice change. Mr. Hale seems like a nice guy. He probably didn't sign up for anything like this when he wanted to teach. Change was in the air, all right. Kelsey noticed as Mr. Hale sped through their Friday spelling tests. If one more person grinned and waved at her, she was going to throw up. The only person whose grin and wave mattered to her was Andrea. Andrea's, and Andrea was far too quiet this morning. Kelsey tried to catch her friend's eye during the spelling test, but Andrea's hand remained bent over her paper. No matter what it takes, Kelsey vowed, I'm going to smother Andrea Grace with kindness until I win back her friendship. Andrea had been right about Brenna, Melissa, and Molly, and all they did was comb their hair and talk about boys. They didn't care about Kelsey. They didn't even know her. Every question they asked had something to do with the stupid contest. They didn't know Kelsey had a cat named Groucho, or that the bedspread in her room matched the wallpaper and curtains, or that she stashed pretzels under her bed to snack on in the middle of the night, and her favorite possession in the whole world was a book about a horse given to her by the author when Kelsey was in the 3rd grade. I feel like that's an in-joke by the author, right? Book about a horse given to her by the author in 3rd grade. That's a very specific thing. Maybe I'm missing something. But Andrea knew all these things about her. Andrea was her best friend. Kelsey opened her reading book. Somehow it didn't surprise her at all that today's October holiday was All Hallows Eve. In the 9th century, people believed that the spirits of all those who died that year gathered at the harvest festival. If the townspeople went out that night, they wore masks and costumes to disguise themselves in case they ran into any spirits on their way to the festival. So Kelsey had superstitious people from the 9th century to thank for getting her into the predicament she was in, right here in the 20th century. When Mr. Hale got out his contact lens case, Kelsey closed her reading book and got ready for the lunch bell. She thought she'd like being popular. She thought it would mean having lots of friends, but the popularity had been a lonely experience. She'd opt for one loyal friend as opposed to 10 Briannas, Melissas, and Mollys. Maybe she should stop dreading this afternoon's Halloween party. Maybe she should look forward to getting the kissing contest over with and being cast right back into utter obscurity for the rest of her life. Calm down. All of a sudden, her former boring life didn't sound so dull after all. As a matter of fact, it sounded like a welcome change. Hang on, there's one more chapter? 2 more chapters, I think. Watches Emily D. Baker constantly. So now I hate that specific stimulus of her voice and I feel bad. I love Emily. I love her so much. She's so kind and she's so smart and she's neurodivergent, and I appreciate the way that she's able to like talk about law in a way that makes sense to my also neurodivergent brain. Family of mice. That is true. I was thinking that too, Texas. Yay for real friends. Friendship was the friendship we made along the way. I love the doll so much. That's great, Ollie. Congratulations. Roaches. I have a feet. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's gonna be a roach problem. That's gonna be a big roach problem. Avery, it's all the time, like Hallmark movies all over again. I hear you, but I also watch like a lot of Emily. I love her. I guess if you're being forced to listen to something, that would also get annoying. But sometime, if you're able to take a break, I always recommend giving Emily a chance. I love her. She's actually very funny, and you learn a lot. And if you're into true crime at all, it's a great way to follow cases. Not sponsored by Emily, but hi, Emily. You'll never see this, but I appreciate you. I love all the little names. Did you ever write your names in books? I never did because I was too like protective of my books, but I loved getting the secondhand books and seeing all the little names written in them. It's cute. Neurodivergent 2. Yay, neurodivergence. I'm ADHD. What kind of neurodivergence do you have? No, I'm just kidding. Don't share personal information you don't feel sharing on the internet. All right. Let's finish this book so that Tex can go to bed and we can read some. Yay, neurodivergent. I did a few times. That's true. Just reminding people. I feel the need to remind people. All right, let's finish this book so that Tex can go to bed and the rest of us can read the Babysitter's Club. Kelsey stepped through the leg holes in the cardboard bottom of her costume, then pulled the silver frame to her neck, sticking her arms out of the openings at each side. She hooked the wire hanger shut, then smoothed the ribbon streamer the length of her costume. She laughed at herself in the mirror, not missing the ohs and ahs coming from the other girls changing in the restroom. Were they just being nice, or were they really impressed with her costume? It didn't matter. Kelsey told herself she was impressed with her own idea for a costume. Yay. And she was impressed with the contest she'd invented. Sighing, she studied her teardrop shape in the mirror. Sometimes it's easier to impress yourself than to impress others. Yes. Yes, it is, I guess. Kelsey hurried down the hallway, tipping the cardboard so she could fit through the door of the classroom. Bits of loud conversation greeted her as kids from both fifth grades visited each desk, eating Halloween treats and showing off their costumes. A group bobbed for apples in one corner, assisted by the other fifth grade teacher, Mrs. Owens, who'd come to help Mr. Hale with the party. Mr. Hale's orange hair turned out to be part of a clown costume. Now that Kelsey thought about it, Mr. Hale had been a clown last year and the year before and the year before that. Somehow it didn't surprise her. Kelsey felt nervous, as if she were the afternoon's entertainment and was about to be called upon to perform. Making her way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and she's homebound. She dodged Adam Aldridge, who was flying around the room in his space creature costume, burping the theme song from Star Trek. Oh, Natasha would be so horrified. The problem with making her way to her desk was that once she got there, she couldn't sit down. Instead, she gathered her note cards with the kissing trivia questions and moved to an empty corner to study them. As she flipped through the cards, her hands trembled from dread and anticipation. Would kids laugh at her when she explained the contest? Would they pelt her with candy corn? Would they boo her out of the room? Watching Brian whisper into Mr. Hale's foot-long rubber ear, Kelsey had a feeling she was about to find out. Suddenly, she had to go to the restroom. Was it nerves, or was it 12 trips to the water fountain this morning, trying to get Andrea's attention? 12? At least she's hydrated. I say as I'm drinking Coca-Cola, which dehydrates you. I should be drinking my water. I'm almost done with the Coca-Cola, though. Where was Andrea anyway? Kelsey scanned the room. Had she gone home, or was she still changing into her costume? As Kelsey headed towards the door, Molly rushed to grab her arm. Where are you going? She demanded. Her eyes grew as round as the wire-framed glasses she wore, which were part of her 60s flower child costume. Do I need your permission to go to the bathroom? Kelsey answered, hearing the snippiness in her own voice. Well, hurry, Molly twisted her in her zillion strands of love beads into a long coil. We have to leave plenty of time for, she glanced around and winked 3 times. You know what? Kelsey trudged down the hallway. How was she supposed to hurry when she had to take off her entire costume to go to the bathroom, then put it back on again? It's like wearing overalls. In the restroom, the wheelchair stall was the only one she could fit into. After struggling to get out of her costume, Kelsey heard a familiar voice. Peeking through the opening between the door and the stall, she saw Andrea in full rock and roll attire, leather skirt, tights, layered t-shirts. She wore every necklace, bracelet, and ring she owned, and her entire head of purple streaked hair was spiked outward. She'd have to use the wheelchair stall, too. It was the only one her hair would fit into. She's dressed like Terry from The Day My Kid Went Punk. Something that I don't think anybody remembers except for me, but I remember. I'll never forget. Where was I? Wait, I lost my place. Hang on. I really did lose my place. Hang on. She'd have to use the wheelchair stall too. It was the only one her hair would fit into. Andrea was poised. How she keep, that's a lot of gel if that's how big her hair is. She'd have to use the wheel. Andrea was poised in front of the mirror, reading from a note card. Kelsey Minor, she was saying, has played a big joke on the 5th grade. Kelsey gasped. Was Andrea practicing a speech? A speech she planned to give the entire class? She held her breath to listen while Andrea continued. She's made everybody believe she's going to put on a kissing contest this afternoon, but the truth is, Andrea looked up from her notes and stared at herself in the mirror. The truth is, she repeated, Kelsey Minor is a liar, T. Andrea pivoted on one foot as if she'd just finished singing a song before a concert audience. Thank you, she gushed into a pretend microphone. Kelsey struggled to get back into her costume. Andrea was planning to expose her as a fake at the party. They're gonna find out in a second anyway. I don't know that it matters. She didn't need Andrea's help to expose her as a fake. She was going to expose herself the minute she announced the trivia contest. That's what I'm saying. Shoving her arms through the cutout holes, Kelsey knew she had to face Andrea and have it out with her right now. Right here in the girls' restroom. But by the time Kelsey had wriggled back into her costume, Andrea had gone back to class. How could she get her friend alone now? Kelsey walked as slowly as she could down the hallway, one foot in front of the other. Sorry. She imagined she was Wendy from Peter Pan on Captain Hook's pirate ship, walking the plank. 3 more steps to the end. Beyond that, the churning ocean, and then he just, sits there and, wobbles for forever, like last night. Come on, Molly's whining voice snapped her out of her daydream. The flower child, wearing a peasant dress and sandals, leaned into the hallway and motioned for Kelsey to hurry up. Kelsey stepped past her into the classroom, resisting the urge to stuff a handful of Molly's love beads into her mouth to shut her up. There she is, Mr. Hale exclaimed. The teacher blew on his clown whistle to get everyone's attention, then motioned to Brina. Laughter and voices from the room hushed instantly. If Mr. Hale's whistle had suddenly clicked off Kelsey's hearing. Brina stepped to the front of the room. She was dressed as a princess and was wearing a real rhinestone crown that Kelsey would die for. It's time, Brina began. Kelsey wondered why Brina felt it was her job to announce the contest at all. What did she have to do with it? We've all been eagerly waiting for this afternoon, so we can hold our class's first kissing contest. As the class applauded, Kelsey was sure she heard Mr. Hale and Mrs. Owens gasp. Brina curtsied. I'd be so stressed. These poor teachers. Brina curtsied like a real princess. Now I'd like to introduce Kelsey Minor, who will explain the kissing contest. She gave a royal flip of her arms in the direction swirling the lace robe she wore. Kelsey hated the way Brina acted as if she knew all about the kissing contest when she didn't. And she hated the way Molly was jumping up and down behind Brina, huffing and puffing. Come on, come on, come on. But even more than that, she hated the way Andrea was making her way to the front of the room, holding a note cards that with their Kelsey is a liar. Holding the note cards with their Kelsey is a liar speech. Uh-oh, drama. What's happening in chat? I've missed a few things. Give me a second. No. Let me read chat. I want to read my chat. I can't be a good YouTuber if I can't read my chat. My brain. I just saw Natty say my brain hates me. Same, Natty. ADHD 2, neurodivergent 2. I don't know. Anyone here is normal? Yeah, because that would be boring, and nobody boring is in the strat. I'm autistic and ADHD. I have anxiety and depression, also all under that umbrella. Yeah, I have anxiety. I've been formally diagnosed with anxiety, depression, ADHD, and I also have OCD, which I don't know that anybody's ever like formally on paper diagnosed me with, but I've talked to my doctor, and I have the rituals and the compulsions, and it's pretty obvious, so. Adults in the morning, I'm so sorry. I'm reading as fast as I can. As well, I think. Yeah, I think we stick together, Adriel. Pog. Asperger's. We weren't diagnosed when we became friends. Oh yeah, we don't use the term Asperger's anymore. Yeah, that's the name of a Nazi that did a bunch of horrible human experimentation. So I think it's all on the autism spectrum now, I believe, but I'm not an expert. That's just what I've been told. Just say no to Nazis. Put that on a t-shirt. No idea what it is. Fair. Do the Club David. Do any of us really know how our brains work? It's the biggest mystery in our lives. Interest, but I'm not upset about that. Never saw that betrayal coming. I don't blame Andre either, Ollie. Mad as well. Yep. Scary because we are. Who don't do anything. It's a normal reaction. The teacher's freaking out. Makes sense. No, it makes total sense. I would also be like, what? I've slouched for too long now. My back hurts. Oh, I'm sorry. No, my brain just went, sit up straight. Kellen, Avery, just wanted to say a quick thanks for the stream tonight. Today's been really stressful for me and has really helped to calm for it. Oh, I'm glad, Kellen. Thank you. I'm not glad that you've had a stressful day, but I'm glad that it could be less stressful to sit and chill. I was hoping, that's always my hope, especially with the streams and all the content I make. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me that it can be helpful. So I'm so busy I forgot to check if you were on. I didn't tell anybody I was on. I wasn't even sure I was going to be on until I sat down and went, you know what? I am going to stream because I want to. So it's okay. Pretty sure this is the book that everybody wants me to get to, so I'll get to that one soon. What shows have Valentine's Day episodes anymore? The FBI show is so dark. The only show I can think of that ever had a Valentine's Day episode was when I was a kid watching Clifford the Big Red Dog, and Emily Elizabeth was making Valentines for all of her friends. Chapter 16. Grumbles skittered through the room as Andrea took her place in the spotlight instead of Kelsey. Kelsey's heart skittered along with the grumbles. Was Andrea really planning to give a hate speech? Oh my god. This is not a hate speech, Kelsey. About her own best friend. She thinks there's no contest, Kelsey, because the last time you talked to her, there was no contest. Right, she told herself, but now there is. Only Andrea doesn't know that because you've stopped being her best friend. But you have, Kelsey. You've stopped being Andrea's best friend, and now your ex-best friend is about to get even. Andrea cleared her throat and jingled her jewelry. All of you are expecting Kelsey Minor to put on a kissing contest right now, aren't you? Yes, came from around the room. Give the stage to Kelsey, someone hollered. A few kids began to boo Andrea under their breath, calling her Og. Well, Andrea continued in a shaky voice, I want to tell you the truth about the kissing contest, and the truth about Kelsey Minor. The booing got louder. Mr. Hale looked confused, as if he'd never encountered this sort of thing in his How to Be a Teacher manual. I'm sure he hasn't. Kelsey felt as if she were in an oven, like a baked potato wrapped in aluminum foil. No matter what terrible things Andrea was getting ready to say about her. There was no way Kelsey could stand here and let the class boo her former best friend. Kelsey, 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 the class began to chant. Andrea looked as if she were about to cry, and Kelsey hurried to the front of the room, bumping kids out of the way with her wide cardboard hips. The chanting stopped. Thank you, Andrea. I forgot about the Hershey's Kiss costume for a second, and my brain was just like, what kind of Model Land body horror is this? Thank you, Andrea, she said, then faced the class. Andrea was trying to introduce the kissing contest. Her voice wavered over the word contest. Kelsey glared at the class. Andrea was helping me. She's my best friend. As if on cue, everyone looked at the floor. Kelsey felt a great sense of power at shaming the 5th grade. Andrea, power move, honestly. Andrea was staring at her as if she'd never seen a giant Hershey's Kiss before. Of course, she probably hadn't, but that was beside the point. Kelsey crossed her arms, the way Mr. Hale did when he was displeased with his students. I'm not sure I want to begin my kissing contest at all if you're going to be mean to my best friend. A few I'm sorry, Andreas came from around the room. Kelsey waited. More I'm sorry's filled the air. Within moments, everyone was apologizing to Andrea, who was standing so still, none of her jewelry even jingled. Out of the corner of her eye, Kelsey saw Mr. Hale glance at his watch. She'd better hurry, or there'd be no time left for the contest. Yesterday, that would have suited her just fine, but today she was ready. For better or for worse, it was time. She was on. This was it. Let's begin. Molly rushed to the front, thrusting a whistle at Kelsey. She cupped her hands around her mouth, whispering, remember the first rule. Right, Kelsey said, as Molly rushed back to her seat. The teachers are not intervening. This is so... They're just stunned in the back of the room. They're just like, what? Blood and Honey does hit selected theaters tomorrow. If only it hits streaming. As soon as it hits streaming, I can cover it. But I don't know if I'm grateful or angry that they're making me wait longer, because there's no reason that they should have a theater release. That's just silly. Andrea began to edge toward her desk. Kelsey caught her arm. No, you have to help me. Andrea grinned at her. We're in this together, remember? Kelsey whispered. Andrea's grin widened until her eyes twinkled. So do it, she whispered back. As Kelsey divided the class into 2 teams, the room instantly came alive. Kids began to squirm and shuffle papers and cough. Molly was a further distraction, dashing back and forth to the drinking fountain, filling everyone's punch cup with water. Rule number 6, Kelsey reminded herself. All across the room, hands shot up. Mr. Hale, I'm not feeling well. Can I go to the nurse? Mr. Hale, my mom is coming to get me early today, and she asked me to wait outside. Mr. Hale, I promised Ms. McFarland I'd help her inventory soccer equipment this afternoon. Kelsey peered at the kids, causing the interruptions. What was going on? The 5th graders had practically been counting the minutes until the kissing contest began, and now they were trying to get out of it. Why? Feet shuffled, pencils flipped to the floor, arguments began. Those who'd asked to leave gathered their things and stood up. The answer came to Kelsey like a surprise chorus. Trick or treat. Kids were nervous. They were scared. They thought they'd soon be kissing somebody, and they really didn't want to. Not now. Not here. Not in front of everyone. Kelsey studied faces around the room. All of them looked scared, as if they'd seen a real Halloween ghost. Even Melissa, Brina, and Molly. So it was true. Kelsey almost burst out laughing. The entire 5th grade was absolutely terrified of her little kissing contest. There's one more chapter. Because the teacher doesn't know what the fuck to do. Yeah. Kelsey, well, I hate it, yes. Get to Valentine's Day. People have very polarizing opinions on Valentine's Day. Ellen says death to Valentine's Day. Texas says, but I got chocolate. Tarfield Owl, huh? If that's in relation to the book, we're all with you. Apple Books has put out some wild titles. Mailman Hits on Velma. I don't think I've ever seen that one, Patrick. I'll have to look that up. Can't be worse than the Velma show. Practice Ladybug had a Valentine's Day episode. I've never watched that show. Why aren't the teachers stepping in to stop? Right? Texas, that's what I said. Now I want a baked potato, David says. A kissing contest wouldn't fly. Yeah. They're not prepared. As I'm reading through and people are referencing songs, I'm just like humming them. I'm sorry. Kissing contest. There are kids. What happened to making cards and giving small candy? Yeah, that's what this whole book is about. It's called The Kissing Contest. It's by Dion Curtis Reagan, who's an author that I've never heard of before. Apple Paperbacks put out some wild books in the 90s and also 80s, I guess. But in case you're wondering, I don't know. Do they still put out wild books? I'm not up to date on my Apple books. There'll be one video I'm not watching. Fair. That's fair. I'd be sad if I saw Blood and Honey. Are people campaigning for me not to do a thing? For once? That never happens. Like, oh well, let's just see what happens. Valentine's Day is usually nice. Oh, Ollie likes Valentine's Day. Yeah, if you're going through a breakup and stuff, Valentine's Day just makes it all worse. Mr. Hale now should just stop the contest. Yep. Yeah. We hope you feel better soon, Kellen. It was predictable, I think. After this book is done. That's fine. 5th grade shouldn't feel obligated to do something they don't want to. Yeah. Yeah, I hate that for you, Kellen. Kids are mean for pressuring them and teacher ain't doing them. Well, they pressured the girl, Kelsey, into doing it, and then everybody else feels pressured into doing it. Good night, Adriel. What's new, Scooby-Doo? Oh, cool. No, watch it, please. Okay. Thank you, Patrick. When PS1 was used, probably since last May. 6 times between May and October. Oh, that's so hard. All right, one more chapter. One more chapter? One more chapter. The sense of power Kelsey felt earlier surged through her veins. Is this an origin story for a supervillain? Like sweet Halloween candy in her blood. Sit down, she ordered. Kid sat. Quit fidgeting. Fidgeting stopped. The kissing contest has begun. No one can leave the room. Kelsey heard Andrea giggling and jingling behind her. She felt glad her friend had returned to normal. It feels like unlawful imprisonment, Kelsey. Normal for Andrea, that is. Here's how the contest works. I will ask team number 1 a trivia question about kissing. If a player has the correct answer, his or her team gets a point. Kelsey had never heard her voice sound so strong and clear in front of the class before. If the player gives the wrong answer, team number 2 gets one chance to answer. Andrea will keep score on the board, and then the winning team gets a special surprise. Are you ready? 60 pairs of eyes watched her while heads bobbed up and down. Kelsey liked being in charge. She felt as if she could tell the class to do anything, like 200 long division problems, and they would get out their math books without question. I think we're looking at a future cult leader, Chad. That's not good. But she'd never do that. She told herself, glancing at Mr. Hale, he was blotting his forehead with a green polka-dotted clown handkerchief, which matched his green polka-dotted clown tie. Question number 1. Kelsey moved to the first player on the team. As she'd opened her mouth, they're doing Family Feud, but not. As she opened her mouth to ask the trivia question of the gray walrus who was nibbling cookies between his tusks, she noticed for the first time who the walrus was. David Bonicelli. Kelsey's sense of power dissolved as if she were made of real chocolate inside her Hershey's Kiss costume. David stared at her. She stared at David. Mr. Hale stared at his watch. Molly's voice inside Kelsey's head said, "Come on, come on, come on." It made her feel so strong again. Question number 1, she repeated, holding David's gaze. I don't think we say this word anymore, chat. This one, I want everybody to know. That's the word that we don't say anymore. The room was so quiet. Not one candy wrapper rattled. David rose in his seat, leaning forward. His plastic tusks banged against his desktop as he motioned for her to come closer. What was he doing? Kelsey leaned in close to him as close as she dared. David cleared his throat, then whispered, "Do you want me to show you how redacted kiss or tell you?" This feels all kinds of ick. I don't like this. Kelsey's chocolate heart melted at the thought of rubbing noses with David Bonicelli. She started to laugh, then swallowed the urge for fear he'd think she was laughing at him. "Tell me," she whispered back, feeling disappointed by her answer. David grinned, looking like one relieved walrus as he relaxed in his chair, cocking his head to one side. "Are you going to blow the whistle so I can begin?" Kelsey swallowed another laugh, blowing a short blast on Molly's whistle. Drawing himself up straight, David proclaimed loud and clear, "Redacted, kiss by rubbing noses." His team cheered at his correct answer, while Andrea recorded the point on the chalkboard. Mr. Hale and Mrs. Owens exchanged relieved glances, then joined in on the cheering. The contest was on. Kelsey moved from team to team, asking questions and blowing the whistle. What does SWAK mean? Why did noblemen kiss a lady's hand in the time of chivalry? Wait, there's answers on the back. Sealed with a kiss is SWAK, for those who want to know. To greet them with respect is the answer. That's kind of a obvious answer. Where are Hershey's Kisses made? Hershey, Pennsylvania. Yes, I'm playing. Name a rock group that became famous for wearing bizarre makeup. Kiss. What are sometimes called kisses from angels? Freckles. Oh, that's cute. The contest went fast as Kelsey shot questions to one team member after another. Players hollered encouragement to each other, giving things like, "Don't hold your breath and give it all you've got." Saying things like, "Don't hold your breath and give it all you've got." Andrea even helped by making up more questions, jotting them on scraps of paper, then handing them to Kelsey as she moved between the teams. The clock determined the end of the kissing contest. The lead had switched back and forth from Team 1 to Team 2 so many times Kelsey called the score a tie and rewarded both teams with Hershey's Kisses. "Way to go, Kelsey," Melissa hollered when the contest ended, starting off a round of applause. It startled Kelsey. She absorbed the approval coming from Melissa, Brina, and Molly. They weren't mad at her at all. She glanced at all the kids as she handed out prizes. No one was angry at her. And the reason was because she'd let them off the hook. She hadn't made them kiss anybody. 5th graders would rather talk about kissing while eating chocolate kisses. That's the way it should be. Well, David Bonicelli had wanted to. Kelsey blushed at the thought. Maybe not kiss, but rub noses. If they lived in Alaska, oh boy, they might mean they were boyfriend and girlfriend. Oh boy, I'm so, gross. Thank you, Kelsey, said Mr. Hale. I don't like stereotypes, they're gross. One of his rubber ears was lopsided. That was terrific. Can you stay a minute and help clean up? Kelsey nodded as the class was dismissed. I'll save you a seat on the bus, Andrea said, collecting her own bag of kisses. And Andrea straightened Kelsey's white streamer. Thanks for still being my friend. Kelsey gave her an extra bag of kisses. She knew she'd sit with Andrea every day from now on, at lunch, on the bus, and on the playground. It was okay to have lots of friends, but it was special to have one best friend. Before Kelsey helped clean up, she rushed to the restroom to change into regular clothes for the bus trip home. When she returned to the class, the room was empty, except for Adam Aldridge. He whizzed by on his way out the door, giving her a chocolate grin, and as he burped goodbye. Kelsey cleaned up quickly so she wouldn't miss the bus. That was a neat contest, came a voice from behind her. It was the walrus. He'd removed his tusks so he could talk better. Thanks. Kelsey felt shy all of a sudden. If the kissing contest accomplished anything at all this week, it had made David Bonicelli know she was alive. Kelsey hefted the leftover paper plates. No, what about the teachings of friendship, Kelsey? Reaching high to return them to the top shelf of the storage cabinet. Let me help, said David, putting his hands under hers and guiding the plates into place. As Kelsey lowered her arms, David leaned over and kissed her on the cheek. Have a fun Halloween, he whispered, and then raced on flippered feet through the outside door before she could answer. Kelsey placed one palm over David's kiss, wanting to seal it into her cheek forever. Suddenly it hit her. The Friday afternoon she dreaded all week had come and gone. She'd done what she set out to do. The kissing contest had been a success. Not only a success, but there'd even been a grand prize winner. Kelsey Minor, the only 5th grader who'd actually gotten kissed. She was the winner of her own kissing contest. Wasn't that something? Wasn't that something? The power of friendship. Hey, Toonie. Oh, sorry, Chad. Hopefully somebody has answered. Oh my god, Pat. Having a power trip? Yep. I just realized I put my comforter on reverse, yet it matters to me. Oh, I finally watched the Pooh Valentine special. Aw, thank you, Paolo. I couldn't see. Oh, sorry. Do we still not know? I don't want to say it. Memories with the word redacted. With the word redacted. Wait, I'm confused. I know what the word is, but I don't feel comfortable typing it out. But the proper term is now Inuit. Yes. Relieved glances. Try doing your job and stopping this before it gets started if you thought it was going to get out of hand. Wiki. Oh, redacted. Okay. Still have no idea what the word is. Here, let me pull it. Let me get it. This book was Cringe the Book. And of course, you could only find it here. Where is it? Where's the word? Hang on, let me hold it up so that you can actually see this word. Can everybody see this? This is a word that's outdated and we don't use anymore because it's offensive. The correct word is Inuit, also known as Native Tribes of Alaska. This book. Yeah, this word. Yep. Yeah, that word. It's a word that a lot of people don't know is offensive still, but it is. So I don't want to say it. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, 11:30. We still have time? I know some people are going to bed. We still have enough people that want to read this book tonight? I'm still kind of interested to read this book. Let's see. Oh, we have 14 people in chat right now. I'm CFL team with that name, but they changed it to Elks. Yes, I have heard about that. Andy's still called Redacted Pot. Yes. There's also, they also still use it in a Christmas song. And so I love that Christmas song, and so I have to change the words whenever I sing it, because it's not a word that I'm gonna use. Yeah, but this was a fun, wholesome stream. Thank you, DK. Thank you for being here. I love getting to cover things, pieces of media like books and games and things, especially books that we don't get to cover in regular videos. So I'm very, very thankful that you guys are here, because when I started reading books on stream, I really did not think that I was going to, that many people would care. Let me just post that we have read this on the old Goodreads. I'll give it a 2 stars, I guess. It had a wholesome ending. It was just cringe all the way through. So cringe. I'm just writing, this is 80 pages of cringe. Apple Paperbacks puts out some wild titles. Whoop, whoop. Started on the 14th, ended on the 14th. How it started, how it's going. All right. Let's see. But the review just says this is 80 pages of cringe. Apple Paperbacks puts out some wild titles. That was it. Yeah, there's a clothing store called... Yeah, I've heard about that chain. Yeah, people use it because they don't know what it means, and then you're like, oh, don't. And then they're like, but all these other things are called it, and you're like, yeah, it's weird. Sorry. Should I take pain meds? But I don't. I should take pain meds, but I don't want to get up. Go take whatever meds you need. Jingle. Gosh. Sounds like the world's worst jingle. Patrick. I mean, I'm also here in the South, and no boy, things are wild. All right, do we want to read? Do we want to crack open the old Babysitter's Club? Anybody have time for that, or time for part of it? Need a babysitter? Save time. Call the Babysitter's Club and reach 7 experienced babysitters. Kristy Thomas, President. Marianne Spear, Secretary. Claudia Kishi, Vice President. We stand Claudia. Stacy McGill. Dawn Schaefer. We don't stand Dawn Schaefer. Mallory Pike. We stand Junior Officer. And other Junior Officer Jessica Ramsey. Jessie, otherwise known as Jessie, who we also stand. Good night, Texas. To you, I'll stay if you stay. Final part of the series. Night, Texas. Sure, I'll read at least... We'll read at least some of it, and then if nothing else, just finish it tomorrow before we read whatever tomorrow's book is. For Jennifer and John. This book was also written in 1990. Didn't do that on purpose, but there you go. Yeah, Oklahoma, we don't even... Like, Southerners... Like, as a Georgian, right? We don't even consider Oklahoma as part of the South, and Florida is definitely not part of the South. Just the first half. We can read just the first half. All right. Or do we want to do that, or do we? If it's 11:34 right now, I could just save it for tomorrow, and then we could just read the whole thing tomorrow, and then it'll just be contained, so anybody watching it back we could do that. I have to change the thumbnail, though, so people won't feel, oh my gosh. Whatever you want. I would read one chapter tonight, but, like, if I was looking back at it, Patrick, I would be, like, kind of bummed if I tuned in tomorrow night and I'm like, we're starting on chapter 2. But here, let me read the first chapter as a preview for tomorrow night. Let's do that. Chapter 1. Concentrate, concentrate, I said softly. Then I raised my voice. Keep your eye on the ball, I yelled. I must have startled Jackie Radowski because he swung away too low and missed an easy pitch. Strike 2, shouted the umpire. Darn, I muttered. I went back to murmuring. Concentrate, concentrate. It was almost the end of another game between the Crushers and the Bashers. Who are the Crushers and the Bashers? They're softball teams here in Stony Brook, Connecticut. I am the coach of the Crushers, but Taylor is the coach of the Bashers. I have a crush on Bart. Well, that feels like it doesn't make matter to this particular conversation. Anyway, for the first time in the history of softball games between my Crushers and Bart's Bashers, it looks a little like Crushers had a chance to win. See, the Crushers are not your average softball team. The players are all kids who are too young or too scared to try out for T-ball or Little League. In other words, as you might have guessed, they aren't great players. All. Well, most of them aren't. One kid ducks every time a ball comes toward him. Most of the kids are not good hitters. We even have one player who's only 2.5 years old. Oh. We let her use a special ball and bat so she doesn't get hurt. And we have to tell her everything to do. But you know what? She's a pretty good hitter for her age. Bart's Bashers, on the other hand, are the older, tougher group of kids. I don't know why they don't join Little League. Maybe they like having Bart as their coach. I could certainly understand that. The thing is, the Bashers have always beaten the Crushers easily. Until now. Now they score was tied. The Crushers had been playing very well. The Bashers were loaded, and it was the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. The only problem was that the Crushers were, it's mixing up my brain because it starts with a K. Crushers with a K were up, and our batter was Jackie Radowski, the walking disaster. Poor Jackie. I love him to bits, but he is a walking disaster. He's accident prone, he has bad luck, and he's not too coordinated. The pitcher looked nervous, though. After all, the game was tied, and the Bashers had never been beaten by the Crushers. Still, this was the walking disaster at bat. Come on, I muttered and gave Jackie the thumbs-up sign. The pitcher threw the ball, Jackie swung his bat, and he hit a home run. 4 more runs. We won, the Crushers screamed. I screamed right along with them, even though I knew the Bashers had been playing under handicaps. The best hitter had the chicken pox. Their usual pitcher was out of town for the weekend, and 2 good players had been benched for fighting with each other. Still, the Crushers were victorious, and our cheerleaders went wild. We won! We won! We won! They couldn't stop yelling. Then they remembered their softball manners and shouted, 2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate? The Bashers! The Bashers! Yeah! I had a feeling this was the first time our cheerleaders actually meant what they were saying. Our cheerleaders, by the way, are Vanessa Pike and Haley Braddock, who are 9, and Charlotte Johansson, who's 8. Haley's brother, Matt, is a crusher. He's profoundly deaf, but he's one of our best players. First of all, I don't know why she had to say it like that, too. What does that stop you from being a good baseball player? That feels ableist. We communicate with him using sign language. Aw, several of Vanessa. I love sign language. It's just so pretty. I love it so much. Sorry, that was a weird way to respond to they just use a different language, but I love sign language. It's actually a language other than English that I understand, and I get happy. Anyway, sorry. That Several of Vanessa's brothers and sisters, she has 7, are on the team, including her littlest sister, Claire, who's 5 and sometimes throws tantrums shouting, "No fier, no fier, no fier," which she thinks she's being wronged. Anyway, I waited until all of my crushers had been picked up by moms or dads or sitters or older brothers and sisters and were heading home joyously amid surprised and excited cries of, "We beat the Bashers, honest, and we finally won a game." Then I looked across the schoolyard to where my big brother Charlie was waiting to drive me and my little brothers and sister home. Charlie is 17, can drive, and has this awful old secondhand car. At least it runs. Who am I? I'm Kristy Thomas. I'm 13, and I'm an 8th grader at Stony Brook Middle School, SMS. I have 3 brothers, a stepbrother, and a stepsister, and an adopted sister, David Michael, my 7-year-old brother, and Karen and Andrew, my stepsister and stepbrother, who are 7 and 4, are crushers. Charlie was going to drop Karen. I thought Dawn was the one who Kristy's parents, aren't they? Never mind. I get confused because there's a lot of different girls and I haven't read these books in a very long time. And Andrew off at their mother's house, and then take David, Michael, and me home. I felt like I was really yelling for a second. I'm sorry. This was nice of him. We could have walked, but we had an awful lot of equipment. Charlie and I were just loading the last of it into the back of his car when a voice said, "Can I walk you home?" I whirled around. It was Bart. My heart flip-flopped. It actually felt like it turned over inside my chest. I tried to breathe slowly. "Charlie," I asked, "is that okay with you? You can leave the stuff in the car and I'll help you unload it as soon as I get home." "No problem," replied Charlie. He's so good-natured. "Okay, see you later, David, Michael, Karen, and Andrew. I'll see you later Friday afternoon." Karen and Andrew only live with their dad and my mom and the rest of our family every other weekend. Oh, and for 2 weeks during the summer, the rest of the time they live with their mother and stepfather. "Bye," called David, Michael, Karen, and Andrew, who were still practically hysterical over beating the Bashers. Charlie drove off in his ratty car, and I looked at Bart. I wasn't sure what to say. Of course, I was ecstatic that we'd beaten his team. On the other hand, we'd beaten his team. Bart couldn't be feeling too great, but congratulations, said Bart sincerely. Your kids sure have guts. They played really well today. Thanks, I replied. It's so funny to hear a 13-year-old say to another 13-year-old, hey, you're kids that you coach, not like we're not kids. When you're 13, you feel like you're so old, and then you look back and you're like, I was literally a child. Thanks, I replied. I was pleased, really I was, but all Bart and I ever talked about was softball or our teams. We walked a little way in silence. I couldn't think of a thing to say. At last Bart said, guess what happened in the locker room at school today? Bart does not go to SMS. He goes to Stony Brook Day School, a private school. What? I asked, shuddering. Did I really want to know what went on in a boys' locker room? This guy, Bart began, got a little crazy after gym class, and he was clowning around swinging from the pipes of the ceiling. All of a sudden, this pipe breaks, and he falls down onto the benches, and the sprinkler system goes off. Everybody got soaked. I laughed. What happened to the kid? Was he hurt? Him? Hurt? Nah, his nickname is Ox. Nothing could hurt him. That feels spectacularly untrue. Once, I said, we were playing field hockey, and this girl, who is completely uncoordinated, took a whack at the ball and hit the teacher on the head. It was Bart's turn. That just reminds me of Cinderella's story where Hilary Duff pretends that, the baseball has the face of her evil stepmother, Jennifer Coolidge, on it so that she can hit the ball. It was Bart's turn to laugh. Then he said, somehow I can't picture you in a field hockey kilt. They're not so bad, I replied. The bloomers have changed. The uniforms are much more up to date now. I do wish we could just wear jeans and t-shirts, though. Practically the only time I wear a skirt is when we play field hockey. You should wear skirts more often, said Bart. How come? I asked. Bart shrugged. Then he blushed. I bet you look pretty. That's all. You saying I don't look pretty all the time, Bart? I'm not pretty in my crusher's outfit, I asked. That's what I would also have said if a guy said that to me. I was just teasing, but Bart blushed even redder. Come on, I said. Don't worry about it. I'm just giving you a hard time. So how's school? Fine, the same old stuff. Yeah, for me too. How's the Babysitters Club? Great. My friends and I have a club that is really a business. Do you? I had no idea. We babysit for the families in our neighborhoods. I'll tell you more about it later. And how are your friends? What is this, a talk show? I said, laughing. Bart grinned. I don't know. I mean, no, I just want to hear about your life. Instead of softball. I looked at Bart seriously. Well, let's see. Mallory's really happy because she's going out with a guy for the first time. Claudia's doing better in school, but I'm a little worried about Stacy. Stacy, repeated Bart. She's the one with diabetes, right? She's the one with diabetes. Way to put that bluntly. I nodded. She's never really sick, just doesn't seem well sometimes. You know what I mean. Bart nodded. How about you? I asked. How's everything? Not bad. Kyle gets on my nerves, but I can handle him. Kyle is Bart's little brother. My parents bug me, though they hate it when my band practices in the basement. You have a band? I said in amazement. Yup. What do you play? Guitar, electric, acoustic, any kind. I didn't know that. So have you had any, what are they called? Gigs? Supplied Bart. This fuzz on my sweatshirt. Yeah, a couple. Guess the hoodie. Yeah, it's a hood. I could get a lot more, though, if we could find a place to practice. No one wants us in their basement. What about a garage? The neighbors complained. Oh. Bart and I talked about his band and music in school until before I knew it, we had reached my house. Emily, my adopted sister, was sitting on the front steps with Nanny, my grandmother. She came flying out to meet me and gave me a tight hug around the knees. Hi, Emily, I said, picking her up. Then I called, hi, Nanny. Nanny waved to me. Well, said Bart, I better get going. I told Mom I'd come home right after the game, but I'll see you soon, okay? Next game, I said. Maybe before that, Bart replied, and he walked off whistling. I stared after him. There's a Garfield shirt online that's meant for women that says, feed me and tell me I'm pretty. I really want it, LOL, and wear it every day. Wear it. Get it. Wear it. Let's see, stepsister Karen. I do, yes, I have seen Karen's name on a book before. Women's class. Books, each teacher, a student who goes to school of Karen. Childhood tour, it makes me depressed. Oh, Marianne is Dawn's stepsister. Okay. I always get Kristy and Dawn, like not anymore because Dawn's in the California Diaries, but I usually get them mixed up. Yeah, deaf doesn't mean you can't play baseball. I think under handicaps is offensive to people who are handicapped. Good point. I did not like that's just what it was called, so sorry about that. I probably should have thought of that. You know, kind of a modern version. Time Machine, Cartoon Network. Interested in the idea of making a season 3 of Mystery Incorporated. Please, they should do that. They need that. We need that to right the wrongs that Velma has contributed to society. Oh. Babysitter Club movie. Granted, I'm completely blind without my glasses. Yeah, that makes sense why that would be probably a out of taste thing to say. Here's what I'm gonna do, Paolo, because I don't want the chapter 1 to be I don't want chapter 1 to be separated from the other ones, but it is almost midnight. So what I'm going to do, since this is a whole book, and I don't think we'll get done with it until before, I don't know, 3 in the morning. I don't think it's meant the same way. I suppose they could also just play with an advantage. Yeah, there's probably a better way to say it. Win a trip to New York City. I kind of want to take out all of the mail-in things and just, like, do something with them, but I don't know. Now the Babysitter's Club is a game. I want to do something with all of these, but I don't know what I should do. But I do want to take them out of the backs of all the books that we read. Like, all just these, like, send in for the books that you want. Mail-in order kind of thing. And I don't know what I want to do with them. It could just be how she used it, too. That's fair, too. Because, like, for example, you know, the way, like, there's nothing wrong with or even negative about the word deaf, to my knowledge. Like, that's just a that's an identifying word, and deaf people use it proudly, as they should. But the way that she said it, like it was gonna make him bad at baseball, was really sus, and I didn't like that. Anyway. But I'm not deaf. I don't want to speak over anybody who is deaf. But anyway, I will read. Here's what I'll do. That was a preview, so we know what we're getting into for next week. It is a Kristy book. It is Kristy's Mystery Admirer. I think because I read the first chapter, I technically don't have to change the thumbnail, but I'll probably try because I don't want to clickbait people. And tomorrow, I'll read the first chapter again so that it can be reunited with all the other chapters, so that nobody clicks in to read this book, and then it's like, oh, go hunt down this other VOD to read just the first chapter, because that would annoy me if I was a viewer. Quick recap for the newbies. Oh yeah, for the book. Yeah, I'll just reread the first chapter. It'll just take a few minutes. I can read it while everybody's kind of coming in, and yeah. Marianne, until you're done. Right. Welcome Home, Marianne can't be read until after. So tomorrow we will read this book in its entirety, including a recap on chapter 1. Right now I'll let you guys go to bed, but thank you guys for being here. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope it's been a good day. Even if you don't have a Valentine, thank you for hanging out with me. It's meant a lot because I didn't have a Valentine either. It's fine. I'll see you tomorrow. And wait, hang on. Before I go, I just reminded myself of something. Sorry. I want to know how there's a way that I just want to know how to do this for future. Redirect. Here it is. Yes. I'm going to redirect you guys. I'm going to see if I can redirect you guys to the brand new video that's coming out. It's a Phantom Investigators video. I'm really excited that it's coming out. Daniel and I filmed all of these together back in like November, so it's really nice to get to share them. Finish setting up channel. No, not right now, YouTube. I'll do that later. Oh my god, so much Model Land stuff is being recommended to me. What am I doing? Right. Here we go. Sorry. Chat, while I'm muttering to myself, I'm just setting up so that you guys can go to the new video as soon as this one's gone. So it's like I never even left. Kidding. Click this, make sure it has a thumbnail. If it goes out without a thumbnail, everybody will make fun of me. I think we're all good. I think everything should be good. Turn that on. Turn that on. We're gonna do a midnight premiere. Who remembers midnight premieres? I don't think there's anything PG rated in this video. There might be. There's usually swearing. I usually just check the swearing just because it's me. I probably said at least one bad word somewhere, but you know. Sure. Oh, this is new. And add a music license, huh? I need to do that. We don't have subtitles yet. Oh, no, we do have subtitles. Sorry. I'm just talking to myself because I can't see chat at the current moment. Sorry, chat. End cards. Oh, shoot. I forgot to put the fun end cards that Daniel made. I'll have to remember that for next time. Sorry, Daniel, if you're seeing this. I completely, I knew I was forgetting something. The kissing contest fit the first, featuring the first chapter of the Babysitters Club. Yeah. Yeah, you have to change the title. That's way easier than changing the whole thumbnail. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Don't read welcome. Yeah, I won't read it until it's time. Good night, everybody. I Heart Kids Club. Isn't that? Whoop. Whoop. Uh-oh. It's ripped a little bit. Calm down. Have to fix that. Sorry, book. I didn't mean to commit crimes against the book. But yeah, sorry. We're just gonna do this as a test feature. Nobody feel obligated to stick around. I just want to make sure. Music license now. Oh, YouTube just keeps making it easier. YouTube is strange for sure. Sorry. Visibility. I'm gonna set this to premiere, like a midnight premiere. 12 a.m. And then I should be redirect from here. Yes, I figured out how to do it. Okay, so in the future, I know how to redirect you guys to new videos. I'm so excited. Okay. Anyway, have fun, guys. This will dump you into the new video, but don't feel obligated to watch it. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for being here. You're the best. Good night, everybody. 6 years older than you. Books rip. I know. I can fix it, though. I don't want to do anything bad to books. Books are great. Yay, redirection. I learned! It only took me like a year of streaming to figure this out. Almost. But yeah, bye, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you as always. How long is the new video? I think it's like 14 or 15 minutes. Yeah. You don't have to watch it right now. I was mainly just teaching myself and then talking myself through it like I knew how to talk myself through it. But anyway, yeah. Now I just know for the future because that'll be handy in the future. So yeah. Good night, everybody. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching and being here. I'll see you tomorrow night with this book in its entirety. I'm watching, damn it. Thank you, Paulo. I appreciate you. Good night.